can you?
I'm gonna start recording.
So he fucking obviously like he was like drunk. It's his birthday, but the whole video thing, it wasn't like anything where he like bucked me off or he was like so mad about it. Nick stood up for me as well, but his brother come and sat down like towards the end of the night after we did fireworks and shit. And I was sitting with Christy, who I'm like supposed to be with, and that's his like number 2. So he comes in. Christy's on this couch. I'm on this plastic chair right next to the couch, and there's a plastic chair right behind the couch. Tony comes and sits down. So he's talking to Christy, and we're just all sitting next to each other. And then his brother comes and sits in like one of the like a chair like up to the corner. And he goes, "Look at those 3 good people over there." And Tony looks at him and goes, "You really like him, don't you?" And he goes, "Yeah, he's a good dude." And Tony fucking looks at me sharply. He has these yellow like lensed fucking glasses. So stares at me, bro, and then flips back to his brother and goes, "Why aren't you fucking head of HR now?" And I was just like, what can you do at that point? You know what I mean?
I never start these formally. I just fucking say, "Hey, what's up? Let's go," and then we just talk.
Deal. What do you guys usually talk about?
It just depends who comes over. Like, I obviously have a lot of questions for you about comedy.
Sick.
I think I love finding out like what made people get into comedy, because it's such a strange thing to want to subject yourself to all the time. And so I was just curious, like, when did you actually like be like, that sounds like something that would be fun or something I want to do? Like anything like that.
Are we rolling right now?
Yeah.
We're in it? Okay.
Well, we don't have to start here. I just
let's start here. Fuck it.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Yes. Yeah. So the origin story is basically like this. I'm from a town called Suffield, Connecticut. And a few of my friends from Suffield were always just like so fucking funny, dude. Like my friend Greg, my friend Steve were always like the funniest 2 dudes I'd ever met. And we used to come back from stuff and just like regale tales from the night of like getting fucked up. And I was happy just like being the 3rd funniest guy in my friend group. You know what I mean? I was like,
I'm like, they're actually hilarious.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, I'm cool with 3rd place. Like, this is great. They're the funniest dudes I've literally ever met. I was like, this is fantastic. I love being friends with these boys. Like, we used to go out and just like, you know, it was just being 19. Every time you'd go out, somebody would get too fucked up. Something would happen. And then, like, what I looked forward to was not, like, going to the party. What I looked forward to was, like, sitting in my basement and just telling tales from that night for just 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
It's like one cool thing would happen, and then we'd get together, and it would just be 8 of us in my basement. And you would just be crying, laughing the whole time because the dudes that I'm friends with were so fucking funny. But then, like, dude, after college, I moved to Boston, and then, like, I was like, oh fuck, I'm the funny guy. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't realize that my friends from home were just like such spectacular outliers in terms of being funny that I would be like hanging out with my friends, and I'd be like, all right, dude, I think I might be the funniest guy here. I really think that.
I feel like when with your friends, you like communication is so much easier. You know what I mean? That like you all have your own little inside jokes and slang and like the way you talk about things. And so I think that's what creates such a like just, I don't know, chemistry between best friend groups, because I felt the same way too. Like I grew up around funny people. Like my family's funny, my friends are funny, I feel like, and you just realize like I had the same experience. It was
dude, like my buddy literally invented lingo. Like he had like we talked like in a specific way. It was like we had a dialect, like we were from like some weird tribe or something.
Yeah,
like,
it's just a different language.
My town specifically was like we were from a different part of the country.
That's
so it was great, man. Like I went to prep school, but I still like kept up with all those guys. You know what I mean? I would always be hanging out with them over the summer and shit. And then so, dude, I was in Boston, and I'm like, a couple summers before this, I had worked this like dog shit warehouse job, and I was literally, my job was like, I worked for a company where they made these like hobby glass cutter things. So like people that were working on like pet projects, they would take these little wheel things and you'd cut the glass and you push it out and the glass would come out. You make things with it, right? And so my job was to count the 12 glass cutters and put them in the box and stuff it, and then just like over and over again.
My own personal hell right there.
Yeah, and that was
quality controlling
for
like
8 hours a day. The day I got fired, also one of the best days of my life. But
Yeah.
I
love getting fired from jobs, dude.
Dude, shit like that, it's like you're fucking pumped. But I was there for 6 weeks, and during those 6 weeks, I just was like, I need to start listening to shit. I tried to do audiobooks, and then like in came Joe Rogan and Bill Burr. And then, dude, I just happened to be working there around the time, like the Bill Burr motivational fucking dude. I'd rather be chasing a dream and living on a futon than waking up next to some woman that I don't actually love. And as like a 20-year-old kid, like that shit hit home so hard. I was like, this is it. And so, dude, it took like 3 years from then, or 2 years from then, to muster up the courage to do stand-up. Got up, did it once at a bar called Tavern at the End of the World in Boston. Literally started my set. I was so nervous that I started by like chugging a whole beer and then just like didn't really have any jokes. It was like, all right, cool. Now I do stand up. I do stand up every 2 weeks. And so I came back 2 weeks from then and I did it. And I missed it 2 weeks.
In Boston too, man. That's crazy because that's such a tough scene. I feel like
dude, it was brutal.
You have to be funny. And if you are nervous, I feel like they just tear you apart.
Well, dude, I'm doing it every 2 weeks. You know, I'm putting my dues in. This is how you become a comedian. I'm like, this is great. And then I did it once, waited 2 weeks, did it again, waited 4 weeks, did it, and then never did it again for like a year. And then I was like, you know what, dude, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it every week now. And so I went back to the same bar, kept bombing. But then like these guys came up to me and they're like, what are you doing after this? And I'm like, I'm going to get a beer. And they're like, all right, we're going to another open mic. And I'm like, you guys do 2 shows in a night? I'm like, you guys do multiple spots? And they're like, yeah, dude, we try to get up 6 to 10 times a week. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing the work.
That's the way to do
it. I'm
Yeah.
not doing the work at all. So then I started counting sets. And then that was 2017 when I like officially started. And then 2018, my goal was just to get up as much as I could. So I did like 350 sets in 2018. And then
Holy
I did
shit,
400 in 2019. And then like the amount of stage time that I was doing was just going up. Obviously, you got the pandy. But now we're back to like, I'm probably going to do more stand-up.
Yeah. Dude, you're a dog.
It, like,
dude, every
went over
time
my
I
head at
speak
first.
to you, you literally are like doing at least 2 sets or 1 set a day.
I've always got somewhere I got to be.
Always.
For sure. Always. 2 last night, like, and then we got another one tonight. Just boom, boom, boom.
Where's
boom,
the one
boom.
tonight?
Tonight I'm at East Austin.
Because I'm like, this is beginning my weekend. So I was going to see maybe we could come to the show.
Yeah, show's at 9 tonight. Come on by. That'd be
Hell
fucking
yeah.
great. I would love that, man.
Yeah, my girlfand loves comedy, dude. It's the only
hell
reason I
yeah.
could put up with her. She's actually funny. She's a girl who's funny. It's crazy. No, I'm just kidding. But I really want to go to the show because I like going to Mike's just to like see how the scene is being, you know, because there's so many different clubs and vibes in Austin and Mike's every night, everywhere, whether it's open or like a showcase or something. So it's like, that's why I moved here from Chicago because of the pandy.
Yeah, same here.
I just started and it was like, oh, I love this. And then you couldn't perform anywhere for like a year and a half.
Oh,
so I was
crazy.
like, fuck it, dude. I'm just going to go to Austin. And I've been here for like 3 years almost.
Are you doing stand-up too?
Yeah.
You're getting up?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. How's it been?
Well, I haven't been getting up the past like 6 months because it's like you said where you took a break.
Yeah.
Like I did it like maybe once every like 2 months in Chicago and then it stopped. And so then whenever I would travel like for work or for like visiting friends, I would do comedy in these random cities just to be like, oh, you did a mic once, we should go have you do another mic, which is insane to have your best friends watch you when you suck and you
brutal.
have no material. It's just like they're the only ones laughing in the audience, but they're laughing actually at you, like not with you at all.
Dude, I remember my friends Sean and Tommy were the first guys that came to see me live.
Yeah.
And like, so I'd been doing it for like 4 weeks. And
Which
so I
is
was
brutal.
Like, I'm finally comfortable with you guys coming. Like, this is going to be okay. Like,
4 weeks in.
So I was
you're
like, I built it
got
up. You know, I've been on stage like 20 times now. I'm like, I'm a professional. And it was like, but it is crazy. I mean, one of the things that like I think definitely worked to my advantage was in the early stages. I don't think it's like this now because there's so many dogs. But like in 2017, dude, it was so fucking easy to outwork everybody.
Yeah.
Like these people just they weren't writing.
Yeah.
They weren't funny off stage and they weren't getting up a lot.
They were lazy.
Dude, so you could
They're
just
so
bury
lazy.
them.
Yeah.
Like you could bury people with work ethic by literally going up 5 times a week, which is crazy to me, right? That people are like, people go into something and they go like, this is my dream, man. You know, like
exactly.
I love it.
They just expect the outcome. They don't actually want to put in the work or have originality. That's my biggest like bite is now that Austin's become so huge, it's just so saturated, which I think is good because like you said, you just blow people out of the water if you actually like are passionate about it and you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who get into it where they're just like, Well, that seems like a reasonable dream now. So I have it, and I want to I just want to get paid a bunch of money to tell people how I feel and think. And it's like, I mean, it's kind of what it is, but it's an art. There's an art to it, and there's a work ethic to it to get to that point where you can do it.
Dude, this idea that like, oh, I'm gonna get paid a bunch of money. It's like I'm 7 years in, dude. Like I'm 7 years in, and I've headlined clubs, and I've hit the 100 million view mark on the internet, and I'm making no money. Like I make
so the folks at home, if you want to get into comedy.
Dude, so I mean, I feel like it is coming. Like, and maybe I'm delusional for believing that. I feel like it's on the way.
I don't think you are, bro. Because that surprises me because I like those are milestones that you're like, oh, I'm actually doing it. You know, and you are actually doing it. Like way the fuck more than I would be. So it's like, I wouldn't believe that it hadn't came yet, so it's like, yeah, dude, it's for sure.
It's tough when you're losing $2,500 a month every month.
Yeah,
right?
Like,
In walks of life, I've heard people say your name and talk about your shows, especially like your backyard shows and stuff.
Oh fuck!
Just like by just me walking past and just overhearing, and then I'll turn around and be like, Joe Begley. I'm like, that's a hell of a guy right there.
Yeah, dude.
So it's like you are doing well. It's like people know your name, like back where I'm from, Utah. And like so on and so forth.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. It's
that's
like,
crazy.
And you know, I'm not very like well known in the comedy scene or anything in between, but it's just like these regular ass people I'm seeing. Yeah. So it's like you definitely put in the work and you definitely are getting recognized.
I appreciate that, man.
And you even had, what was it? I don't know if you want to talk about, but the Netflix even saw you for like they even know who you are.
Yeah, so it's crazy to get on that radar.
That's
which was
wild.
like it didn't end up happening, but like getting just to audition one time for that.
They like reached out to you.
Yeah, so so it was sort of by proximity, and it's crazy like how disorganized some of these companies are. I have a story for that after, which is fucking insane. But dude, Netflix just like reached out to the clubs, and then like the clubs were like, okay, every club presented a list of like 10 to 20 people, and we're like, these are the people that we feel you should see. And so like one of the clubs put my name down, which is really amazing.
Yeah,
just to be at like
that's awesome
at that level, but like. Dude, it's funny, like, just the organization process of some of these businesses.
Like the hierarchy and everything.
There's no such thing as adults, dude. It's just a bunch of kids running around pretending to be adults.
Well, they're all salary, so they do the bare minimum.
Yeah. So here's a great example of people having no idea what's going on, right? This is fucking crazy. Right now in Austin, there's this big thing. You'll probably see a bunch of people doing Blue Chew jokes right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because Blue Chew's sending out all this money to people who land Blue Chew jokes, all right? And so everyone's trying to do it to get money from Blue Chew,
like clickbait, internet shit.
Yeah,
like where it's like I got a clip
so
that
they
went
can make
viral.
TikToks.
Yep.
And they go, this is fucking insane. My friend last night, and he goes, you are not going to believe what's in this email that we got from Blue Chew. And I go, okay, what's in the email? And he goes, look at this. He goes, hi, we are reaching out from Blue Chew. We are looking for comedians to do Blue Chew related material. If you have a clip that goes viral, if you have a clip that we use, we will pay you at least $500 for it. Here's what we're looking for. Click on the here's what we're looking for, and it's a video of me hammered at doing Blue Chew material. What the fuck?
This is exactly
what the fuck happened.
What I don't understand is like we want this, but why wouldn't they just ask?
They have no idea who I am. They don't even know my name.
But on the email,
but
just screenshot it.
They are distributing videos of me to every comedy club in America.
That's
and
insane.
I'm like,
about dick pills.
Dude, what's crazy was I do remember that set it was a set where I had been working all day, and by working I get hired by this company Jam in the Van every year. My job effectively is just to get fucked up and just go talk to people, and so I've been doing that for the whole day.
What? How the hell do you land something like that?
It's just be really good at talking to people when you're fucked up, dude.
Yeah,
like, but they hit me up and they're like, okay, so, and then at the end of it, they're like, do you want to do a stand-up set on our show on Friday? And I was like, all right, great. This is the problem, right? Like, me not having a manager doesn't hurt in any way unless we get into this situation. This is the situation where we need representation. Because I don't know what's going on, dude.
Yeah, you need somebody like that can be the liaison, you know? Because I love corporate emails. I was never in corporate, but like sometimes you got to send a fucking email like to a company or something. I'm very proper. I'm very good at those, like, saying a lot that's not actually the words you're saying, like basically being like this, but it's like very like, oh, I expected, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the lingo. We should reach out to Blue Chew.
I'll just send a dick pic, bro. It's like, help me.
I'll send a limp one. You send a hard one. We'll be like, we need to get there. Like we need to figure this out.
I was gonna ask you guys, since we're in the realm of this. So obviously we're talking about Netflix and specials. That's like an hour. That's an hour of your guys' skits, right? What's the mentality or the headspace going from just like a 15-minute to an hour? Is there any change, or is there, you know what I mean? What was there? Extra yoga, extra running for you, extra tanning? You know what I mean?
Extra tanning, dude. Yeah. Bro, so when all those clips went viral in like 2021, House of Comedy hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to do a weekend at our club in Phoenix?" Mm-hmm. And at the time, like, the longest set I'd done was 35 minutes, and
which is long.
It's long, but they're looking for 45.
Yeah.
And I also hadn't done stand-up really in a year.
And it's probably 35, like they want like tight 45. And you're like, I got like long 35.
So I literally, I got on the phone and I was like, I called the person who owned the club and I was like, hey, this is just honestly where I'm at in my career, right? I've been doing stand-up for 4 years, one of which was no stage time between March of 2020 and June of 2020. Yeah. I have done no stand-up. Really, like maybe 10 sets in the whole thing. So I'm like, I'm rusty. And she's like, you know what, dude? I think we can make it work for you.
At least you were honest too, though, because I feel like most people, any sniff of like a gig is just like latch on, and you're like, okay, let me be like, let me level with you here,
Well, she goes, here's the money, book the tickets, come out, fuck it, just show up. So Thursday, I get there. 17 people show up to the Thursday show in a room of 300. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, rough, fuck. Gotta work a room of like 175. Nice. Work my way through it. It's brutal. It's like pulling teeth. I get to 40, get off stage immediately. Dude, you can't do anything that you've never done before until you do it, right?
Right.
By the time it got to Sunday, like, we literally was just riffing for half of it. Getting to 50, you could do it by the 5th time you've done something in 3 days. You can do it with your fucking eyes closed.
That's true. So
it's one of the things about stand-up where it's like we start everybody off at an open mic level. I feel like a way to just accelerate yourself and just skip the line is just find a place that has seats 20 people. Spend $500 in Instagram ads to just get 20 people in there for free every night,
or just buy all the tickets
and just start up by doing 20. I mean, I'm talking like you just need people to perform for.
You just blew my fucking mind with what you just said, because I was just telling him how, like, because I took time off because the open mic live is such a grind, and it's like you wait 6 hours. There's 2 people who are drunk not listening to the audience, and it's like, how can you get much practice when you get no feedback? So the hardest part is getting like an actual audience. And so once you just pound out and you get lucky with having an audience at an open mic every now and again, that's how you get, okay, I'm comfortable on stage. And so once I was like about like 3 years deep, it was like, now I'm gonna pull back and take a break. And it was setting all this up too. That was like a lot of it. It was like working extra to be able to do this, because I wanted to have that and then just attack the scene again and try and find like somewhere where I can just make something happen, where I can actually just have like an opportunity. And then from there, like you said, it just snowballs. Like,
dude, it's like the only people that I think it was easier when I started, and now the only people that I feel like it's going to work out for, you have to like have some piece of leverage. You have to cheat the system in some way.
Yeah. No, like, I agree, because people don't want to hear that. Like, they're like, no, what you got to do is like just put your head down and constantly put your head down for like 20 years. And it's like, no, I think now there's actual opportunity involved in comedy. Like it was so cutthroat for decades, and now it's like with the internet, with clips, with all these social medias to engage people. That's ad revenue to companies. That's things where they see like, oh, people are watching this, and it's way more expansive than it was. And so with that, you have to kind of be a shark a little bit, not in a shady way. Fuck that shady shit, but just you gotta like just find an opportunity and set it up, and then actually perform under that pressure. And then it's like, all right, now I can use this to leverage something else.
Oh, we can get in there, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally. It's the hardest part about Austin because there's so many people.
Oh, definitely got to cheat. Anywhere in life. You become a millionaire, you got to cheat somehow.
Yeah. And I just started signing up for Kill Tony again because I did Kill Tony like twice a couple years ago when I was still at the Vulcan. And I was just moved to Austin. So it was like 2 months into really doing stand-up. And I was just like, holy fuck, when I got on stage. Like, I was
did it?
Yeah, I did
How'd
it twice.
Go?
So the first time, Alex Jones was the guest. It was fucking awesome. I was just like, this is worth it if I never do comedy again. But dude, my jokes were very new, like to comedy jokes, but they liked it. But then during the interview, I was just so nervous because I was like trying to be myself.
Yeah.
But it was like I knew
it's a hard ask.
I knew how many people were watching and how many would watch, and they were like asking me the most insane shit because that's the point, right? But I was just like, fuck, I'm just like a person. And then I went back the next week because it takes a while, and I signed up again, and I got called up again.
Back-to-back weeks?
Back. So that
was Tony like kind of disappointed?
No, dude. It was, so I walking up, and I'm like, I didn't plan any jokes because I was like, there's no way I'd get called up back-to-back. You just have to like do it just to, and so I couldn't do any of the jokes that I did last week, but that was pretty much like all the good jokes I had 2 months in. And so I walk up and I'm like, I just got to do this one I just wrote over the weekend. And it was like 30 seconds of bombing. And then I said a punchline and everybody just starts dying. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
The pressure was off. And then I forgot the rest of the joke, but I like made it work and they liked me. And it was like, they liked me both weeks in a row. But every time it got to the interview, it was like I was just so nervous. And
well, it's that the interview is such a tough ask, right?
Because we don't want to be like I don't want my fucking me as a human out there in my comedy.
They also
it's like
go,
I just
yourself.
want my comedy.
They say be yourself and have fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to be yourself and have fun in front of 300
No,
people when you've never been there before?
It's like, what kind of ego do you have to be able to do that? Yeah,
it's impossible.
It takes it because that's something else I was going to ask you about because when you do comedy, you're like, one day I hopefully am performing a bunch of people. But I was thinking about it and it's like, dude, I would have to work up to that so much because it's like, could you imagine walking out to like 30,000 people and you're in charge of it? The ego that you, not even if you're like a bad person ego, but like the ego you would have to be in control of that many people. Not that you're like full of yourself, but just like, no, you can handle it, you know? And so like that type of confidence, I feel like takes so long to build.
Big dick energy,
not,
baby.
Like, I'm not a not confident person by any means, but I'm a like humble person. Like I don't like, and with comedy, you kind of have to like branch out from that person that is you and be this person that is this comedian, you know? Like
Dex has big dick energy. You can ask him about that.
with the littlest dick you've ever seen, too.
You got a little dick?
Standard white boy package.
No way.
Dude,
looks small in a giant frame.
Yeah, it's just it's the fat rolls. I'm telling you, dude, every skinny white boy will always have the biggest dick.
It's the skinny, like not that tall ones, you know? The brick houses, they're just hiding.
The asshole.
Yeah, measure from the asshole. Yeah, from the sphincter.
Yeah, I heard short guys have big gooches. That's what I heard.
I could see that too. I bet that
they're
Mexican
just,
OT's
like,
got a
squished,
big
you know?
old gooch. If you guys have ever seen what that guy looks like.
The who?
That Mexican OT.
That Mexican OT. Is that he's like a local artist?
Houston. He's national now, but yeah, he's based out of Houston.
He did Joe Rogan's podcast recently. I think I saw.
That's exactly who that is.
Yeah, he probably has a big gooch.
That's all right. I thought you were gonna pull up a picture of him and you just scroll through the bar.
I fucking can't find it. Yeah, where the fuck is Safari? Dude, this is what the nightmare is of producing your own podcast when you're not a producer.
Try command space. There you go.
What the fuck was that?
Hell yeah, Joe.
How did you do that?
You're hired.
You're a wizard. That Mexican,
so
dude. We're living now.
Oh,
Command T.
Who the fuck is this guy?
You never heard him?
I wonder
He's
if
a
we can
rapper.
play a song. We might get.
He has that song Johnny Dang with Paul Wall.
Really?
Yeah.
He did a song with Paul Wall. I'm gonna try and pull
Johnny
it up.
Dang.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah.
It's trying to load.
See how many views he's got.
I have 2 Google Fiber hubs and my internet still sucks. Tell me how that works.
Wait, really?
Yeah. There's one right there.
Is Google Fiber's fucked up?
No, it's fire, but for some reason, this computer, when it's hooked up to this TV, it just takes fucking forever to load shit. But this is the song.
Once you see this guy, he actually does backflips on stage live. He has an onion in his pocket at all times. He's like a big rooster lover.
Really?
Yeah, this dude's a character, honestly, yeah.
Isn't that like a Texas thing, those spokes?
Yeah, that's called elbows.
I've never seen those.
It's a Houston thing. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Elbows.
All right, he's fire, I guess.
You guys have never heard this song?
No. It sounds like songs
now that
heard,
I'm
though.
30, I have no idea what's going on in the rap community. It's pretty embarrassing.
I'm sorry, Mexican OT. But yeah, I don't either. It's I think it's a social media thing. God damn it,
God,
man.
You guys are some silly gooses. Oh, you know Matthew Yoids too as well, huh, Joe?
Matt, you're late for the podcast.
Yeah, Matt, you fucking suck.
You interrupted that Mexican OT.
What? I guess we'll have to cut this part out. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's alright. We can leave it in, dude. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, fuck him. You think Matt starts?
Are those cherry tits?
Oh yeah, dude. Got that at Vulcan last Friday.
At Vulcan?
You know Miles, right?
No.
Miles, the tattoo artist.
What's that one?
This Selena. I bet you don't know who that is either.
I know who that is.
Yeah, that's Deo de los Muertos, Selena.
Day of the Dead, Selena.
Yeah.
What happened to her? She got murdered?
She got murdered by her best friend. That bitch gets out, I think, next year, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to, yeah.
People are going to kill her?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, the cartel will probably end up killing her, too. I think the cartel, instead of killing her in prison, wanted her to serve her time so then they can get her. But regardless, if the cartel's not even involved, I'm sure any other person in Texas is just going to go put a hit on
Why'd she kill her?
Money.
Really?
I think she was ahead of her fan club, or I don't know exactly the details. We'd have to pull it up, but she was stealing money from her. And then when Selena went to confront her, then she ended up shooting her. But then she called the cops on herself.
Yeah, well, how come there's no racial slurs for Greek people?
For Greek people?
Let's come up with a couple.
You know,
It's a Euro sounds too much like
yeah. Is there actually? I don't think I've actually ever heard a slang for a Greek person. He brings up a good point, actually.
What's tzatziki?
Yeah, tzatziki, the sauce they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking tzatziki ass bitch.
Tzatziki ass bitch. That's a good one.
Euro.
I'm sure there is one. We just don't know enough Greek people around to fucking.
Dude, this wine is good. The buzz is fantastic off it.
Dude, rich people have nice shit.
Yeah, this is a really nice bottle of wine.
Yeah. It was for a lawyer who owns her own law firm. And so this was just their like bullshit wine they're all chugging.
Was she Jewish?
No, she was Mexican.
God. Mexican lawyer, that's good.
Yeah, she does immigration law, so she's loaded probably. But it was at the end of the night, and they didn't want them, so I was gonna have to dump them out, and I was like, these are probably nice bottles of wine. And dude, I looked them up. They're like $300 bottles of wine.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. So I was just like a little taste of the finer life, I guess.
And they were already open, or they were closed?
Yeah,
Okay,
they were
sick.
open. Yeah, they were open in the sense that they hadn't been poured from, but they were ready to be poured from.
I was honored that you cracked it open just for me.
I
was
would
like,
have.
damn,
but
bro.
it was already pre-cracked.
Bro. What are you doing?
I'm gonna take the podcast a lot less seriously.
Oh man.
Yeah, I should get up and
Dude,
leave.
I mean,
Yeah.
I said I wasn't drinking today, but I mean, you can't say no to a $300 bottle of wine.
It's like you said though, bro. It's like you gotta take your chances. I had to have something, but I can't have the finer things all the time.
I would pour it for myself, but I don't know how much I should give myself, so I'm fucking.
I got you, bro. I've done this for a living.
Look at this.
A little ASMR.
I love that.
Cheers, bro.
Fuck them.
Cheers, brother.
Oh, cheers.
Drinking some Appleton Estate rum, blackberry and lemon.
Yeah, this stuff's good. I don't even care. I got work later.
You didn't want the wine?
I'm not that type of rich yet, Joe. I don't even know how to ski.
We get to enjoy the finer things right now.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
It sounds like you get to enjoy the finer things a lot though at fucking the houseboat.
That's just because, I became useful, I guess is the word. In the last 2 months of me doing what I've been doing. It actually honestly started with Joe.
Really?
Yep, started with you. You're the first person that I'd ever run into that did anything like this at Nicole's birthday parties when I first saw you.
Yes.
I just thought you were pretty slick. Then I heard you did stand-up, and I was like, in my head, it just clicked. I was like, I like learning stuff from people and seeing like where people's mentality and their head state and like why they do what they do. So you're the first person I'd ever met that actually did stand up.
But all the shit besides that picked up from outside of me though, right? Like all of your all the career advancements that you've had recently, you just got in the game.
Yeah, and it was honestly for the LLC that I started. I stopped doing what I was doing for I worked at Tesla for 2 years building prototype equipment. I was like a welder, maintenance guy around mine sites across America. Started an LLC for a clothing company, and the main part of it right now, we're in the startup. We still have the LLC, but it's getting the equipment and stuff is what we're focusing on right now. It was more wiser for me to stop what I was doing and get in the bar industry. For one is because you cross paths with we were talking about this earlier. Austin's such kind of a niche little tight knit place is you'll run across really famous people just by being down on 6th Street. It could be West 6, East 6, or Dirty 6.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and you'll just cross paths. So I did that about 2 months ago. Just for the one is I ran into you. I was like, oh, this guy's actually a pretty big fucking deal. My brother had heard about you from Utah, my little brother.
Crazy.
People from Nevada had heard about you. You have what is it, 1.4 and 1.6 million likes on TikTok already. I've been to a couple of your shows, bro. You put on shows for other, for yourself and then other people, your colleagues that you see eye to eye with. It's so I was like, oh, this guy's a hustler, and I just met him through somebody that I'm in love with, and I went to her birthday party. Nicole, shout out Nicole.
You didn't come to her last party though, dude. You fucking.
No, dude, I was sleeping, dude. I didn't get home till 6.
Oh, were you doing bad?
6 a.m. Yeah, I was being bad. So nice. I woke up and I was like, no.
Dude, I feel like a lot of just great opportunities are going to come your way just because of your personality and your frame. It's a 1 + 1. If you have 2 skill sets that usually don't line up, dude, you got
he's got the presence
energy.
And the way to back it.
He's I got you, baby.
You're like, oh shit, oh hey, okay, what's your name?
Protect the blind side.
Protect the blind side, and it's just a plus. Is I still have been doing Muay Thai for 4 or 5 months now, and so it's I know how to kick really hard, and so shout out Bang Muay Thai, but. Yeah, so it's just you kind of helped me with that. I was like, well, then this is actually a real life thing because other people outside of Austin see your guys' TikToks or whatever and be like, oh, these guys are superstars. Another good example is Laser. It's I have a bunch of people that I know from back home, Nevada, Idaho, Montana that know Laser. It's oh my God, this guy's a huge deal. I can't wait till he comes and tours. But he's just a regular ass dude.
He's just a guy that's around. Yeah, he's coked out of his mind. Getting his mic cut off at the fucking.
Is that what happened?
He got it not on stage, but at the Nether Hour album release, he was so fucked up.
Thursday.
He was playing harmonica.
Sunshine, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah. And he's in the back of the stage trying to keep singing, and he's the only one that doesn't notice his mic is off. And he's just in the back going, "Yeah."
You were there.
He plays a mean harmonica though.
Oh, he does.
He plays a mean harmonica.
You know Nether Hour, right?
Yeah.
Do you know Bobby?
Yeah, of course.
Bobby will be on this podcast Tuesday.
Oh, sick, dude.
Bobby's a good friend of mine.
Bobby's the dog, dude.
I love Bob's.
Hell yeah.
I'll see one of the other guys at Cutthroat Karaoke tonight at Wiggle.
Bobby's the dog, dude.
Yeah,
Bobby. You guys doing Cutthroat at Wiggle now.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is how it all ties in. It's all the same people.
Yeah, it is. It's all the same. Well, I met him at WTF because I was the main door guy for them forever, and I bar back for them Mondays still. So it's that's how it initially met Laser, and I know all the guys from Nether Hour and shit. And it's Darius Jackson. I don't know if you know Darius.
Disgusting guitar player.
Oh, dude. But
maybe the best I've ever seen.
Unreal.
Good friend of mine as well.
He's a sick cig smoker, too. He fucking can rip that shit while he's...
He'll take a fucking shot while he's playing a solo. I'll bring him a shot of whiskey, and he'll fucking solo it out.
It's this long of an ash on the end, and it's not falling. You know what I mean? It's insane. He's going like this and shit, and it's just
he'll come out in the crowd, go like this, and he comes out, he goes back like this, and comes down, starts playing next to me, he goes...
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, dude. And he goes, you got anything else? And I go, take this, and I put a mushroom microdose in his mouth, and he's like, what was that? And I go, mushrooms. And he goes, fuck. And then just got back on stage.
He was
texting me later. He goes, you fucked my night up.
He's like, this last Wednesday,
it's a little bit. It goes a long way.
Somebody was playing R. Kelly, and he was driving by on a scooter. He's going to do some shit. It's out. Fuck, Darius is just on a side quest, right? On the scooter, all sweaty. He's got a little fucking beanie on. It's I'm sitting at the door, dude. And he's cruising by, dude. He hears R. Kelly from WTF being played live. Stops that bitch right in the middle of the entrance. Parks it. And I was like, Darius. I was like, move your fucking scooter down the road, dude. You know the rules. He's like, he didn't even say anything. He just shushed me. He walks up, bro, and he goes to the stage, and he just stares down the band that's playing. And he comes back, and he goes, fuck that. He's like, I got told that I can't play R. Kelly when I started playing it. He's like, these guys can play it, and he's just all mad about it. I was like, I don't know what to fucking tell you, Darius.
That's funny. He's living the wild.
He did Moonlight, that comedy festival as well. He killed.
Really?
Yeah, because Darius does stand up too. I don't know. Yeah, dude, Darius is actually super funny. Good friends with Gary Clark Jr.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
he's like Darius.
Gary Clark Jr. is another insane guitarist too.
Oh yeah, dude. Gary Clark kills. Yeah, dude. Darius wants to be on, but he wants to be more of like a co-host. Is the big thing. Like that's what I've been trying to talk with him about.
Dude, I'm really excited because like I was saying, we're gonna migrate to the bigger space, and I think we'll be able to do a lot more cool production shit like that.
Yeah.
And I want to have like, since I have this space, I want anybody that wants to be able to do something. Like it doesn't all have to be mine, you know. Like it doesn't all have to be like my brand. It's just like, since I fucking set up the damn space, it's a lot of work.
Did you guys just start this?
Yeah, we started heavy like 2 months ago. I would say I was trying to do an episode a week, and it just sometimes I'll do 2 in a week, and sometimes I won't do one in a week. It's just like I bothered all my friends, and then now I'm like I don't want to bother them that much more. So now I'm trying to meet people to have on. That's why Dexter's a legend, because.
Dude, fuck yeah, he's a good guy to know. Just keep pushing.
I feel so like bad. I'm like, dude, I appreciate everything. But
no, it's all good. I throw a lot of curveballs at Joe too. I'll randomly text him, but hey man, so like, do you want to come to this? Like, you want to start doing like short skits and shit like that? It was like we got this think tank, or hey man, do you know this person? So it's like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But like, you know what I mean? At least
Yo, come do a pod anytime, man. Fuck it.
We should do skits if you guys are down, because I've been wanting to do that, but I don't have anybody to do them with.
Yeah,
like,
the Bogus has got all the equipment, but fucking.
Well, I do too now. Like, you know,
for that,
so I have
really
Lavalier mics and shit too, because now that the election.
What did you just call it?
Lavalier? Is that how you say it? Lavalier? What the fuck? I don't know. My girlfriend's French.
Yeah.
I try to do my part, dude. I try to do my part. Anytime I see like an IER, I'm like, that's clearly
the Lavalier mic.
That's a hard R. That's a hard R, dude.
Yeah, I just did the soft R on the pronunciation there, but I don't know, dude. I just have so many ideas for skits that sometimes you have bits that's like, this isn't really good on stage, but this is really funny. Like we were at the river the other day, and my girlfriend's mom has a German Shepherd, so they were out of town. We were watching the German Shepherd, and we're like, fuck it, let's take him down by the water. And so we're walking, and then this like Asian couple, this old Asian couple, they come walking up to us, and they were just walked right past us and just walked right to the dog. And then they're just like petting him, loving it, and they're like, is she, like full breed? And I was like, it kind of was like, that's fucked up. Like, I was like, because like we have a full breed, and so I was like, what if I just asked them, like, are you full breed, or you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's just like such a weird thing to like ask about something. And so I was like, let's turn it into asking like an Asian like person, like what species are you? Or, you know what I mean? Not a species, I'm retarded, but you know what I'm saying? Like, like it's like asking if because if it wasn't, they wouldn't have loved it as much. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if it was, oh no, she's mixed with, then they would have like, oh, and just kept walking. So it's like,
nice
I honestly
it's like
think
kind of fucked up. It's almost like discrimination in a sense.
Purebred taste the best.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, or it's like they just fucking grind up the happies, bro. So yeah,
that's fucked up.
Exactly. But so I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to go in those spaces as long as we make the joke actually funny. You know what I mean? Like, so I need people to brainstorm and film and do things like that with, but I always have these ideas where it's like, I don't know if this is really a stand-up bit. It's more of a like video skit bit. And
I think the last time I hung out with you, you were in talks with the Fridays Beers guys, right? And I think from what I understand is they within a year they got like from started doing it to like a lot of fucking money.
I just ran into them, which is crazy because Liam was a guy I met doing stand-up in Connecticut and like Western Mass, and he was like a dog. Like he was working pretty hard at it. But I just all of a sudden he's starting posting stuff on the internet, and then he just popped off. But I was never in talks with them. But what did happen was they all walked into a bar one night while I was there. It was like 3 p.m, and I was there hanging up flyers. And they just like landed from LA, so they were like, let's fucking go. They get in, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, oh, I know your boy Liam, and they just ended up hanging out with him. They're very nice guys. Also like the best sketches on the internet right now. It's fucking insane. It's crazy.
But I feel like, doing that is like a huge payoff compared to just like getting paid just doing stand up in itself, right?
The dream is to get paid, but I just feel like when you have it sounds so gay, but when you have a passion for something, it's like, it's like I feel like I'm not having fun in life if I'm not doing these creative things.
Yeah.
And so when you get together with other people with like minds, like, you know, when you try to talk about like something like that with some people, they just don't really get it.
Mm-hmm.
But other people, you mention like a couple words and they're like, yeah, and you can start building.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why those, is it Friday Beers or Almost Friday? What is it? What are they called?
Yeah. So what I respect about them, I think this is like just an insane media model, is like they were making just like really sick memes, and they were just taking like old videos from like shows and just putting text over it about like just crushing beers with your boys being washed up. And they took that and they took the money that they were getting for it and just like made a full production company.
Hell
so
yeah.
they could start doing what they actually wanted to do. So like it's a rare instance of like somebody actually parlaying the shit that they, because people will say this, people will go like, oh dude, like I just want the followers so like I can do the projects that I want to do.
Yeah.
And then they get the fame and they just chase more of it. And those guys were like, okay, we got the numbers.
Now
like,
we can do what we want to do.
Now we can do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Because like those guys in the Almost Friday things, those aren't even the guys in that company. The guys in that company are still behind the scenes.
Oh,
They're just
I
like
see.
trying to make cool shit, and they don't seem to have any interest in becoming famous. They're like,
Yeah.
we like making these cool memes that are really funny, and then like we want to take the money from that and just like enable the funniest guys we've ever seen to make the content that they want to make. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's legit.
That rips. Like that's
legit.
sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Who
That's
doesn't
what
like?
need-
How
Little
could you
Puppet
not
Master,
like that,
bro?
Yeah.
Well, that's what needs to happen too, because there's too many people just after the fame and notoriety and the money from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest gripe with stand-up is I don't want the attention. I just like making people laugh, and I think I have like clever ways of coming up with jokes, because I don't like making jokes that are easy. I like making jokes that are like not necessarily hard, but what I actually want to say. And so sometimes it's like you have to get there and you eat shit and people like think you're a bad person or something. It's like I would rather do that than take the easy route of like, let me just get somewhere where I'm like on the internet, or you know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, honestly, like I think my favorite thing to do is there'll be like bits that I have in like old notebooks and shit, and I'll see them, and my memory of those bits was like they didn't work because they weren't funny, and I'm like, no, the concept was great. I just like I was not at a level yet where I could handle that.
I just did that.
Yeah.
Like 2 months ago. That's what I was like saying. Oh fucker.
Oh, fucker. He
Ronnie.
says.
Dude, look at this puck. Ronnie, come here. Ronnie,
Ronnie.
come here. Ronnie,
Come on.
Look at this
Fucking
dog.
Ronnie,
Ronnie,
dude.
come here. Ronnie, go to Joe. Come here. We gotta show you the camera. Ronnie.
We gotta show the camera on it, bro.
Come here, Bubba.
Oh, dude, I didn't realize Ronnie still got his balls, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
Ronnie's
Good old
got
set,
big
dude.
old nuts.
Dude, he's a tanker.
Full fledged,
That's a
dude.
big ass fucking pug, yeah.
Dude,
It's a huge pug. I mean, that is double the size. I'll show you the background on my fucking phone right now. I mean, look. Oh, my phone's off, but the background on my phone is the pug, and I think that dog is double the size of a pig.
she always like people always say that no pugs. They're always like must not be like a full pug because there must be something else. They say like Chihuahua and shit too. Which
Is that a
wouldn't
smaller
make sense.
dog than
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Like I was like,
Like,
I
sure they
don't know.
weren't lying to you.
Yeah, but dude, it's like those Asian people, you know. It's like that's my thing. Is like people will be like, you must just not like dogs, and it's like I love dogs. I hate dog people. I fucking like, you know what I'm
Really?
saying? Like if you go to a restaurant,
Yeah, that's
and
my
you're-
mom's pug, dude.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
He really is.
She's
it's
adorable. Don't
all
be
the
an
all
asshole.
or she.
Please.
I just
excuse me.
misgendered a pug.
What the fuck, man?
God, we'll have to edit that out too.
How dare you?
It looks like a handsome woman though, you know, at least. What's her name?
Like a hot Rosie O'Donnell.
What's the pug's name?
Pig.
Pig.
Pig. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, my girlfriend thinks I'm a cat person because I have a cat, but it like somebody died and I had to take it, you know. And I love the cat. It made me more cat oriented, but it's like I hate when you're at a like restaurant and people bring like 4 luggage suitcases with their dog shit in it, and like, you know, like they have like 4 different kinds of treats, and they want a bowl of water. It's like, why do you have all this stuff and you don't want to bring a fucking bowl and some water for them?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I think
Austin.
I'm kind of over the dog friendly culture.
Yeah, I hate. That's what I hate.
Yeah,
I hate
which
it.
is like, I understand why like we can have bars that it's like, yo, bring the dog in the patio to hang out during the day. That's cool as fuck. Like I get that. I understand that.
Yeah, I want
Like,
that, but it just
you've
leads
got a
to
great
time.
you got a great dog that like you can bring to a coffee shop. Awesome, but like
Yeah.
when you're trying to have a good time at a coffee shop, like you're either trying to work or you're trying to talk to somebody, and some dickhead's got their dog like that doesn't know how to behave. That's just
exactly
barking or something. You're like, dude, Denver is the worst I've ever seen of this. Like, 'cause Denver is just like everyone's personality is I have a dog in Denver, and me and my buddy Dylan went to this brewery, and is the camera fucked up?
Oh, I just forgot to reset it. We're good now though.
It's rolling.
Yeah.
Dude.
It just might have a little black space because I'm retarded.
Dude, I can start over. But dude, so we're at this brewery and we go to this place in Denver, and I have a couple things that I just don't like that just drive me fucking crazy. One of them is just any noise that's not supposed to be there. I want the music from the venue that we're at, and I want just like conversation around me, right?
Yeah.
If somebody takes a speakerphone call, I will tell them to shut the fuck up. If somebody's watching TikToks on their phone without headphones, I will tell them to be quiet. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But we're at this fucking brewery, and in Denver, everybody's personality is I have a dog. Like, that's their whole thing. Everyone's like, I have a dog.
Exactly.
I love having my dog. Oh, my God. We're at this place, and there's just this one woman who the dog just every minute is just just losing its fucking mind. And she keeps being like, be quiet, be quiet. She's a little, like, he gets a little, he's a little loud sometimes. Be quiet. And it's like,
Oh,
yo,
he just gets excited, you know?
dude, if your dog's barking every fucking minute for an hour, take the dog and get the fuck out of the bar. You're like ruining everybody else's time. But everybody in Denver, the whole personality is like, you're at this brewery and the dogs are running around off leash. It's basically like, it's you're getting it billed as go to a brewery and have a good time, where you could have the same experience buying a six-pack and going to a fucking dog park.
Yeah.
It's
where,
like,
where people actually want your dog to run around and bark.
dude,
You
so
know
I
what
just
mean?
don't want Austin to turn into that, because there's certain parts of like Denver culture, like the jam bands and the fucking dogs
fucking evil
to me,
hippies, dude.
that's the worst thing. Like, we can't become that.
They're
And
just
I-
lazy
towards
people.
that.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
That's like
It's
totally
just
what's coming
lazy
to.
culture where they justify it. We're like, no, we're just hippies, man. It's
just
like, no, you're
hippies.
fucking lazy.
The
Like,
way you
and
said
you're- and
man
you're
is so
obnoxious.
perfect. We're just hippies.
We're just
man.
hippies, man. You know, it's like no, you just don't want to contribute to society, but you want to eat the fruit. You know.
I don't think
It's
you
like-
realize like how much you nailed it there, though, because everyone, what you just fucking said, the stereotypical hippie, what do they always say when they go, man, right? But that's not it.
Well, there's
That's not it. That's not the way they say it. How do they say it? How do they say man? They go,
man. you
yeah,
know?
it's like that, where it's just like man is like,
It's
oh, dude, I
really
really know-
lazy. It's fucking
yeah.
lazy. It's not going man. It's going.
That's
man.
like I work
It's
2
like
days a
moving-
week at the. I work 2 days a week at the French Cafe. I live off my parents' trust fund, and like I've never done LSD, but I'd like to maybe try it sometime. You're
Yeah,
like,
I still
yeah.
have
Those-
the Grateful Dead.
yeah,
it's
dude,
like,
they're
Exactly.
great.
dick, dude.
Yeah, shut up.
They're like, yeah, we should just, share everything, but it's because they're out of weed. Like,
Yeah.
it's like they're like everybody just have whatever you want. It's because they have nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love hippies. Don't get me wrong, but they are fucking scumbag, lazy people. Like, I lived in Colorado for like a little bit, and so like. I just know that sort of culture. I know exactly what you're talking about. I also hate at breweries the fucking chicks who are so drunk they drag their dog around by the leash. Like, it's just like that dog looks frightened like an abused child, and you're just like, you know what I mean? They're just like, well, I gotta bring my dog everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like because you're drunk all the time, and otherwise your dog
is
wouldn't
my
get
baby.
to. Yeah, it's like it's insane,
Nice.
bro. So that's what I mean by I hate dog people. I don't mean real actual dog people, because like you're a dog person, I can tell, and it's
Oh,
like
fuck yeah,
that's
dude.
the type of people I love. Like my girlfriend, dog person, she's not the annoying kind. She knows I'll have to make her take the pug out because she's like, no, he's not that good, and I'm like, we'll make sure he's good. We'll go somewhere where like it's like secluded because if there's another dog, he's not gonna.
He doesn't like other dogs.
Well, he does, but he's just so fascinated.
He's a dominant pig, dude.
Because even if the dog's like twice his size, it's like he's got his nuts. So,
Well, dude, my
he's
mom,
like
like,
always trying to fucking.
the
he's looking.
nuts make him more aggressive.
Not aggressive. He's like intrigued, and so.
In a sexual way.
Well,
Yep.
it
Stalk
can
him,
be that, but it
motherfucker.
just
Yeah.
means he's more like excitable. So if they do get kind of weird, then he might be like, rah, 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 or
Yeah.
whatever. It's just the fact that like it's like he can't just chill. He's like, what's that? It's like a kid.
They gotta go
what's
test
that? They have
hierarchy
cake,
is really
mom.
what it
You
is.
said they didn't have dessert. You know, it's like shit like that. And so I don't know. He's good sometimes, and when he's not, like,
How old is he?
he's like 7. And also, dude, it sucks because he can't get in the car. Like, when we take him in the car, he freaks out the whole time. So, like, we have to go, like, walking distance to get him out in public.
Have you ever tried giving him a Xanax?
I wouldn't be opposed to it, honestly. Give him a benzo addiction.
Yeah.
Honestly. What
You'd have to
could
cut
go
the
wrong?
Dosage so
What could go wrong?
much, right?
You know, you actually don't
I wouldn't
have
really
to.
give the fucking doctors.
I might be talking out my
they
ass,
actually have
but
shit you could
I'm pretty
prescribe.
sure that the dosage actually isn't that different.
Yeah.
Like, it's not obviously, like, they're not popping school buses and shit, but it's
Wow.
No one should be popping.
I think
school buses.
2016 or 2019 when that benzo, like when the Xanax epidemic hit.
Dude, the thing is, I have never heard the term school bus, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I thought it was a myth. Everybody
the
talked about
20s,
it
right?
like they're the 3 milligrams was supposedly, and they were yellow and looked like school buses.
buses.
I've only seen footballs and bars. I've never seen a school bus, so maybe it was
I've
like
taken
a off-brand
Xanax that are
one.
the school buses. No, that's a real thing.
Is it like Molly? They look like a school bus?
Yeah, it's like a little yellow pill. It's like square. Well, it's rectangular, honestly.
Dude, so here's a bit that I could never get to work. I tried to make this work, and it never hits. Why do people get addicted to Xanax? They say, like, don't take too much Xanax, right? It's the only drug I've ever seen where when they give it to you, they give it to you in 4-dose format, and they go, just be good and break off a little piece of it. The bit has never worked. It's never worked once, but it doesn't make any
It would
sense.
work in a Xanax crowd. for
Yeah,
sure.
like,
well, because that's funny. Because
have
you
a
break off
piece.
some, and then it's
breaks
like, you
unevenly.
forget that you
Yeah.
fucking took
It's
it
like,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just like, what happened to that other half of that bar? Must have lost it. You just take more. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, in 2019, I was in southern Utah, St. George, like an hour and a half outside of Las Vegas. And I took a bunch of Xanax one night partying, and I drank. And I blacked out for 2 days. I ended up, the story I got told is we hopped across the border from from Utah, St. George, to Mesquite, Nevada, where the closest dispensary was. And I got kicked out of the dispensary because I was so fucked up talking shit to the security guard. So I was like, yeah, Ben's, there's a crazy time, bro.
It's a nice little time to be alive.
Yeah, yes, it was. Until I come back to.
there was a lot of people on Xanax in my hometown in Iowa. It was like a thing. I tried it a couple times because it was like, you know, I had anxiety. You know, like I grew up with anxiety. So it was like, I'll take a little bit of this. And I was like, wow, I feel great. But then it was like, oh, I see all these people crashing their car every other week. I was like, I'm just not going to do that.
I don't think it even helps. Honestly, it made my anxiety worse, or anything like mental state.
Like the next day?
Much worse. Or even like coming off of it, because you're supposed to come off it in certain doses or whatever.
Yeah.
But like honestly, it's like I've had some shit where I've been prescribed like a benzo, and then I'll take it and not feel even better, just like a little bit more numb, but like crazier.
Yeah.
Then coming off of it,
Oh,
then the
yeah.
repercussions for like a year were much.
How long were you prescribed it for?
Not even that much. 3 months.
Really?
Yeah, 4 months.
How often were you taking it?
Every day. Sometimes, like, honestly, I would abuse
Damn.
it too, though. You know what I mean? Like, take him to get fucked up. So I think that's probably like left to my own devices type deal.
So
Were you doing other things too, like drinking or anything?
Oh,
with
you
it? 'Cause
drinking?
that's
I was getting fucked
no.
up. Yeah, you fucking
Oh,
pound
that's
a
the
push
problem.
latte.
That's the problem right there.
Dude, so I have a Klonopin prescription, and for me, I've kind of realized like the only way. Look, I have a doctor right now that's like a complete hack, right? Where I told him, I'm like, yeah, he gave me the prescription, and he's like, if you get your panic attacks and you start freaking out, and it feels like the world's gonna end, just take one of these and you'll be fine. And so the next time I saw him, I called him after he gave me 15 of them. And 3 months later, I come back into the office, and I'm like, yeah, I've been doing it about once a week. Been trying to be good. I thought he was going to be like, once a week? Oh, my God.
Like,
Like,
you
that's
gotta bump those numbers up.
No, I
Yeah, I realized
probably
he was
I
a
told you in emergencies only.
No, he was being a quack. He wanted his $200. He knew I had insurance. He wanted his $200 an appointment. So he's like, look, like, fucking, you can take it 2 or 3 times a week if you really need to.
Oh my god.
Now, for me, like, the way, like, it's so hard because it's insanely addictive, and I don't feel the pull to take it again the night after taking it at all. For me, if I do it once a week, I need to take it between, this is crazy, but between 6 and 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Because it lasts 8 hours for me, but then there's another 8 hours after that where you're just like, or another like 4 hours after that where you're still kind of tired. And so I'm like, I want to be asleep for those 4 hours. I take it like if I had a long weekend, like if we went out, we got tanked. Sunday night, 6 p.m. Bam. After the gym, kicks in at 7. I'm chilling. Then it's time for bed. Fall right asleep. Have the most blissful 9-hour sleep ever. Wake up the next day. It's just like, dude, I feel lucky that I got prescribed it now, like 2 years ago. Because if I got prescribed that shit in 2015, you best believe I'm getting hospitalized, dude.
Oh,
like,
yep.
You had to like grow into the shoes. You
Nothing
know?
but
Yeah.
a Motley Crue
To be
music video,
responsible.
bro, all night.
oh, 100%.
Yeah, and that's the part of life too, is like always figuring out what's missing, like what's missing in the equation.
Dude,
know?
I thank my lucky stars for my fucking therapist that I had in middle school and in high school and college, because I said that I was having anxiety and I'd heard that a Xanax was a good thing to take for that. And she's like, I'm not giving you that. She's like, you drink 6 days a week. And honestly, like if you take it multiple times in a row, you will get addicted to it.
Yeah.
You have an extremely addicted personality. So no, I'm not giving you Xanax.
You're,
and then
you're
I
a
was
real
like,
ass therapist.
yeah.
dude.
And I'm
She's
like, all right, word.
Yeah. The mushrooms have been helping, right? Though that's like what you
Tremendous.
take.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the mushrooms has been a game changer. It's changed my
Yeah.
entire personality. I think it like lifted me out of the depressive hole that I was in for fucking sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but still, like this is it. I know I'm getting fucked up on the depression stuff. If I'm working out regularly, microdosing regularly, trying to get good sleep, and I'm still fucking bummed out, then it's like, I need to go to the doctor. This is fucked up, because that will happen.
You have a really good routine, though. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what they
Style.
say. Like when you're feeling like shit, it's like, did you drink water? Did you work out? Did you eat? You know, and my thing with depression is like, I feel like everybody has a different version. So I'm curious like how it would affect you, because for me, it doesn't feel like I'm sad or nothing. I'm just unmotivated. Like it's just like, I'm just like, meh, I'll just wallow in this fucking spot on the couch or whatever.
Unmotivated,
for, like, days,
and
you know?
everything
Yeah.
feels like a chore.
Yeah.
Where you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. And so like I'm a lot better than I was when I was younger, but it's like it still comes about sometimes. And yeah, it's just like, how the fuck do you overcome that? It's like, just get off your ass and go work out. But when you're in
100%.
that, it's like so hard. That's why you need people around to just like, you know what I mean? Get on your ass. Like,
I honestly think a good woman helps with that as well. So I mean, obviously, I think it's a good woman in there.
Oh yeah, I haven't been sad in a
Yeah.
long time because she's great.
I have an issue like that as well, but I've found once I actually get up and start doing shit, I think that actually is like a real motivator, because you're like, oh, it's actually not so bad, or the
Yeah.
outside world, or people are not so scary, or the sun's not so bright.
Yeah.
Like, let's go do some other stuff. But if I don't like do that first task, then it's just like game over.
And therapists say they're like, if somebody is like that, they come in, they're like, all right, all I want you to do is like clean your room when you come back. They come back next week, they didn't do that. They're like, all right, well, how about you just like make your bed? And then if they come back and they didn't do that, then they keep making it like a smaller task. So if it's like, just move the hamper out of the way of the door so you can just walk through it. And then they're like, I did that. And it's like, great job. And so you just, you know what I mean? Like it's all about balancing that equation. And so that's what I've heard therapists say is like, if you're feeling like you can't do shit and every task seems daunting, you just got to keep minimizing it. And sometimes, maybe you got to be like, breathe in, breathe out. Oh my God, I did it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but you just got to like build, like snowball that momentum, you know? And that's like what we were talking about with comedy, with everything. It's just like, if you can just build off of something, you can't make nothing from or something from nothing. So it's like, if you can just make a task small enough to get it done, you'll feel that rush of like, I fucking did something finally. And it just build off of that. You got to like be a little bit autistic, you know? Like, you gotta, like,
I got that.
like, you got to
check.
just like have that like, you know,
Touch of the
hyper focus.
tism.
No,
Yeah.
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 Wisdom with the tism, Joe.
Yeah. Wisdom with the tism? I've never heard that. I love that.
You smoking weed yet?
No.
Too cool for school, huh?
Hate weed.
What about PCP? Black tar heroin? Nice.
Oh, man.
Black heroin.
I fucking started vaping again briefly.
I stole
That's
this
my new
one.
addiction.
Yeah, so I got this shit. Yeah.
I can't handle those things. I fucking quitting nicotine was the smartest goddamn thing I've ever done. 'Cause
Seriously.
it would always just be like a few drunk cigarettes, and I'd be like, "This is
Exactly.
fine," and then it turned into that 24/7.
That's what happened the
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend's been she won't quit. I've tried to get her to quit. And so I'll go like 4 months and then just drunk one night. You're like,
Give me that thing.
can't do it because then you
Can I
hit it all
that,
night.
please?
You wake up with a little scratch in your throat, and you're just like, fuck.
You know what the key is, honestly? Key is when you're fucked up and you want to hit your girlfriend's vape, go get a cigarette.
I thought you were
yeah,
just gonna say
once you get
girlfriend.
halfway through,
Nice, Joe. Just hit your girl. You
oh no, she likes it when I hit her. So
nice.
lot of money on cover up or whatever they call it in this relationship. We spend a lot.
Go smoke cigs,
She
dude.
fell down the stairs. Dude.
Is it because I tried? That's why I'm pissed. I'm back on this the last week because that's what I would do for like. It would be like 1 cigarette a month because
A cig feels like it's actually killing you.
Yeah, and
that's
you get
why
halfway
it's good.
through,
I
and
think
it's
that's why
like
I like
I'm
it,
dead.
though,
I'm
yeah.
dead. Yeah, this shit is just numbing the fucking pain.
If I'm ripping cigs, I know that I'm fucked up enough to be doing this.
Yeah.
But the problem is the barrier to entry on those is too low. I'll rip it sober all day.
Yep.
And the barrier.
You got a whole lighting system here.
That's a
It's pretty
TV.
tough, right?
Do
Dude,
you have the
clip this on
Do you have the
bottom and
masters
move it,
on there?
yeah.
Do you have the masters on there?
What's
Do
the
you
I
what is
literally
what
just
is
stole
pulse
it.
versus
Oh, the
have
masters.
ESPN?
Oh yeah.
what does
That's
pulse
awesome.
versus close mean?
Yeah, just start moving it down. See how this whole thing changes.
What the fuck is that, dude?
Told you
What
it's
do
PCP,
the numbers
bro.
mean?
Pure Vietnamese PCP.
You got binary code on that shit.
Dude, you got the wine bottle around this bitch?
I do. I got another one. Let me go grab it.
You got two.
Oh, hell of a deal.
Boom, 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 bum, bum, bum.
It's cool you got another show.
Yeah, we're gonna do one more of these Hidalgo things before the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's already getting a little hot. We're gonna hope it just stays cool.
Dude, we're in a fucking heat jump for the next 2 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
Well, that's Texas summer.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby.
Oh, what's the little thing you got on there?
Dude, I found this at a liquor store for like $4. I didn't even know. Oh,
Is it an
I didn't know I
aerator?
did this, but it's like a little
Oh.
plug for it. But you can take the cap off and pour out of it.
Sick.
This is the other Pinot.
So whose photo is that on there? Is that her as a kid?
Yeah, dude, that's the chick.
You're celebrating her like her accomplishments as a lawyer?
Because she's 40, I guess. Dude,
Hmm.
it's rich people shit. It's like,
Oh my God.
they just have so much money that they're like, they can actually celebrate their birthday. Like,
This
it's
is
good, right?
fantastic.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, that's
rich.
fantastic.
This is
You
what
know?
the other class is living like.
Doesn't it
huh?
make you want to sniff farts, Like,
Yeah.
I like how Dex has a little ice in it too. Just
Yeah.
gotta keep it redneck.
that's
I
my
gotta take a
fault.
piss real quick.
Yeah, for sure, bro. It was chilled, to be fair, like at the place. So
That was
that's
so
the thing
nice.
is once you get into wine, when you get really fancy,
Mhm.
it's like there's temperatures that you want specific wines at,
Mhm.
and they're really specific temperatures. So it's like the perfect note or
Mhm.
flavor profile. But I don't know. I love wine, but I buy like $10 bottles.
I was gonna
you
say,
know?
I mean, that $10 bottles are still really nice.
They're
too.
good.
It's like,
They're
'cause
good.
Wine's just wine, in some cases. But
I completely agree that wine is just wine, but it's like
But that?
when you try to tell people like it's like, oh, they just spend $300 on a bottle of wine, like I bet it's basically the same thing, and it's like, dude, it's not.
It's
What,
not.
you think
Nope,
rich
nope.
people are dumb? Like,
I
you know
thought
what I
that,
mean?
but no.
Like the people, us poors, me anyway. As a poor person, my whole fucking life, you grow up thinking rich people are dumb. You're like, oh, they spend all this money on stupid shit, blah blah blah, and then it's like, no rich person is dumb unless they got lucky. Most rich
that's the
people
lucky, yeah.
are smart and they worked really hard to get there.
Yep.
Whether they're a good person or not is beside the point.
Yep.
But they're not stupid. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
And so, like, it's just like, yeah, I would never buy a $300 bottle of wine, but when you try it, you're like, oh, fuck.
Not
That's
yet,
good,
though, yeah.
dude.
That's
not yet.
incredible.
I appreciate how you motivate me like that.
not
bro.
yet.
But it really is good, man. It really is. Like, spirits, too. Like,
My
you know.
Lord.
Tequila, like I don't drink shitty ass tequila because it's terrible, full of additives and flavorings. But if you get a $40-$50 bottle, it's really good.
Mhm.
You get to taste like a $200 bottle of tequila. It is really good.
Yeah.
It's not placebo effect. Like it's not like.
Have you been down to Old Mexico before?
I don't think so.
No, I went on cruises. I've been on 2 cruises down to Mexico. Sea of Cortez, but there's
Oh, Mexico? No, I haven't been.
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry, that was a little-
I don't think so.
That was
like
a
a
little racist
douchebag,
of me, wasn't it? Mexico. Have you ever been down to
Mexico.
the country of Mexico?
We're going on a cruise in September. and we're gonna go like not through Mexico, but like through those island areas. I've never been outside the U.S.,
like
bro.
and stuff like that. Bahamas.
I still have to get my passport. Don't tell her mom.
No,
but
me as well. Me as well. But for cruises, you only need like a birth certificate.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I was.
Are you sure? Because we're going to other countries.
You're going to the Bahamas, right?
Well, we're going to like multiple places.
I went to Mexico from Long
I think
Beach.
we're going to Mexico.
Yeah, and it was just because you're on a cruise. I just needed a passport, but I also wasn't the first time I wasn't.
You mean
over
a birth
18.
certificate?
Yeah, the second time I was over 18, and I just had to produce a birth certificate, but it was only 7 days to a couple places in Mexico.
Oh, okay. Because I'm fully gonna get it, I'm fine. The timing's
anyway,
fine,
right?
but I totally told her that I got it already. I totally told her that because I was like, just she'll stop worrying, you know. But so she has to get a new passport, and since she's not even a U.S. citizen actually, so to get her Canadian passport
is
updated.
She actually French?
Well, her family is Canadian.
French-Canadian?
Yeah, so she moved
Are they
here.
from Montreal?
Quebec, and they're from
Of course, you know about this.
Winnipeg. They're from Winnipeg, but
Ontario.
He goes.
Ontario. And so she has lived in Texas since she was 6, but she's not actually.
Winnipeg's
a citizen.
Alberta, isn't it?
No, isn't Alberta like north?
Winnipeg, Ontario.
No.
Yeah.
No,
it
it's
goes.
not.
It's one of the
I'm
big
gonna
problems.
get it right
I can tell you right now. Watch this. I think I can do it. British Columbia, all the way over. Alberta.
Yeah, British Columbia is like by Washington.
BC,
right?
Alberta. Then it's
Ontario,
Ontario.
west too.
Quebec, Newfoundland.
Greenland, Iceland.
I think we got it. I think I got it.
Newfoundland's
UK. No.
Newfoundland's the farthest.
How do you
And
know all
Labrador.
this?
I live close to Canada, so I'm like.
Where are you from?
Connecticut, but.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I went to college at UVM, so we're like fucking
Yeah.
20 minutes from Canada.
For sure, dude.
They're good people. I've heard nothing but.
Not the
Really
ones
nice.
from Quebec,
No.
but no.
Quebec, you know,
Yeah, we
they're
don't
fuck-
fuck with Quebec.
yeah.
The only place I want to see is
Assholes.
Saskatchewan. Dude.
They don't even speak French. They pretend, you know.
The
Hey,
French
we
are
forgot
just
about
cheese eating
Saskatchewan.
pussies anyway.
Parisian Frenches will totally
Don't
just
worry.
be like, yeah,
Okay,
dude.
I got it for you.
This table is screwed in and painted on, and it's fucking.
I'm screwed in and painted on.
Yeah, yeah. It's wined and dined for sure.
Dude, this is so good though. I can't get over this wine.
Yeah,
Has a nice
I
bouquet to it.
I don't
it's
want to
very
like you know, I want to pour you a taste. I want to get you like another glass, but I don't want to make you drink that and have another glass. I know you're a busy man.
No, this is all we're tapping out after this. This
Yeah,
is
for
so
sure.
fucking good.
I'll get you a little glass to taste it at least before you go.
Give
I
me a
have
little
some gifts
roadie, bro.
before you go too. I have some gifts for you
Oh fuck yeah, thanks man.
because of the mushroom talk.
Oh sick,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to go to your show later because she loves stand up, bro. And I'm a hater because when you do comedy, I don't like going to shows as much.
It's
as
hard.
an audience member
Kinda
because
ruins it.
It ruins it, and it ruins it in a sense where like if you have a joke anywhere near a joke they do, it's like now it's in your brain, and it's almost like, you know, you didn't get your true path to where you wanted the joke to go, or it's also just like, you know.
I try to make an enormous red flag of it. If somebody is on a similar topic of me, like I'll write it down in the book for that joke. I'll be like, just so you know, like I'm doing a drinking and driving bit. I go, are you gonna get an Uber? Are you gonna believe in yourself? That's a Dylan Sullivan line. I'll write it down and just be like, that's gonna come back in my head, and I'm gonna go like, all right, I can't believe I came up with that. And it's literally just right now I remember that it's a Dylan Sullivan line, but in 6 months I might not.
Yeah,
right? So I just,
exactly.
Like, so I just record it and just go like, all right, this is his bit.
Yeah.
Like there's it's driving me fucking crazy right now because I'm working on this drinking and driving stuff, and it's fucking doing better than half the stuff I've been working on. It's been awesome. But the thing that I don't like about it is I know that I heard a Johnny Mitchell bit about it, and he talks about like driving home when you're drinking and driving, and he's like, I'm always 10 and 2 going below the speed limit, right? And I love that. I love that fucking bit. I think it's a great bit, but I can't find it anywhere on the internet because I want to dig it up and just go like, okay, do we have too much in common here? Like, is this really an original Joe Begley idea, or did that bit get reshuffled in my fucking head? And so I've been trying to find it, but I don't know. Do I message the guy and go like, hey man, love your stuff. I am also working on a drinking and driving material.
I don't want to step on any toes here, you know, or run over any toes while I'm driving drunk.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is get accused of stealing somebody's bit, right?
And that's the main reason why I don't like going to stand up a bunch, because she loves going, so we go to like big name shows a lot. We go to like local shows a lot because I love comedy. I love being around it. But when you're in that creative zone, it's like you just don't want something to get lodged in your brain, and then like you said, forget that it came from somewhere else. Yeah. So like I this is why I pull this over to show you, because I was just doing this for the past couple months. It's been my nightmare, bro. And I feel like that's what you're talking about, where it's just like you're just having to go over like years of fucking shit, and just like, you know what I mean, like this was my first joke book. And so to bring it back to what you said earlier, I'll read some shit in here.
Did you fill that whole thing?
No, it's like half full, but you know, it's like I'll read a joke, and it didn't work when I was new to comedy because I sucked at comedy. Yeah. And I read it now, and I'm like, that's really funny, actually. I just didn't know how to do it. And so I'm glad I kept these journals and shit, because it's
gotta hang on to it.
You know, you gotta hang on to it, but it's also so hard to come up with new material that it's like I have a fucking catalog of material. It's just like, you know, and this is my notes on my phone is like the actual database, you know. This is like pulled from the database shit. And so it's just like, it's nice to have like in all this shit too, you know, just like straight up fucking
printed material.
Yeah, and it's like you can workshop it when you get better if it's actually a good idea. And so I'm glad that I kept those nuggets from something I would never think of. And it's like, you know, like a joke once you hear it if you already wrote it, but I would have never remembered some of these if I didn't write it down.
100%.
And it's just like, oh fuck, actually I'm glad I wrote that down, because now I'm capable of making it what I wanted it to be. And it's like also all like original shit. Like that's why I don't like going to shows as much, because when you already have an idea of what you want to write, you were talking about that earlier, how do you get like 15 out of 30 out of 45? And it's all about coming up with bits that last X amount of minutes, and then coming up with other bits, and then like down the line you're like, oh, this is actually kind of like this bit, and you can segue them, and then it just builds into a bigger bit, and then you're just, you know what I mean, like you're making bigger and bigger bits and compounding them on each other. That's how you get to an hour. That's how you get to like these titans of comedy doing like 2 hours and shit. Is because it's just like they started with one little idea they made into 3 minutes, then they made like a 6 minute something else, and then they're like, oh, those are kind of the same idea, and it's like now it's 15 minutes, and then, you know what I mean. So I'm glad I have all that shit.
So from start till now, what holds in line for Joe Begley and old Garrett Wayne for, you know, the last 6 months, 7 months that we have left in this year? What's your guys' plan? What's your goals? What are we trying to get to before December comes?
What are we trying to get to in what sense?
Well, it was like, so Joe's like obviously full time in comedy scene for you.
He's real, actually. I'm just like a poser.
Well, usually can be podcasts, and you can be getting back into it.
You got the tag for sure.
But I don't know. I just I think that's what I've been working on, is taking the 6 months off was really good for me. It clears your headspace. It makes you, when you come back, you're actually passionate about it again, and then you can have a fresh brain to work this material out. And so my goal is to just actually do the mics again. Like I started signing up for Kill Tony because that's a real platform. And if you do well, if I do shitty, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to cry myself to sleep. But if I do well, it's an actual opportunity. So I'm just planning to be selective, not like restrictive selective, but you know what I mean? Like I'm going to dedicate my time to like real deal situations with real deal people. And like I want to start filming sketches. I want to do all that, but I'm just trying to surround myself with like-minded people, because you inspire each other and you motivate each other. Like if I was a bum in a friend group, your friends get on your ass and they're like, what the fuck, dude? Like and they roast you in the funniest way because they know you the best. So it's like you need to be around people that can motivate you, push you to do stuff. And I don't know. That's just my goal. Like my goal last year was to get this set up, and I did by this year. And so it's a couple months in. Now my new goal is to just like actually start doing the stand-up side of it. So this is growing in the background, because this took a lot to get started, but it's going to take like time for this to grow. You know, you don't just like have a popping podcast, you know. Like this young kid at work, he's like 16. He's like, when are you going to let me on your podcast? I was like, I'm not until you're 18, bro. Like, you know, and I'm like, fuck that shit. But he's like, how much money are you making from that? I was like, dude.
Just lie.
No, I was like,
lose
you
money.
have no idea. Yeah,
Lose
it's like
money.
I spent like $10,000, and all my time in the fucking week goes to like bullshit trying to make. Like, I'm not gonna say this is the worst thing in the world, but it's like I have to figure it all out. So it's like there's not a good production level as far as behind the scenes.
When I was doing the old pod, we like I also had a spare bedroom in my apartment, and I was making good money because I had a day job back then. But we like put the podcast studio into my guest bedroom, and then I had to learn how to use the camera and the angles, and I had to get like different mics and the Rodecaster and stuff, and I kind of realized by the end of it, I was like, all right, I'm paying an extra $700 a month to have this extra bedroom in my apartment, maybe even $1,000, and then I'm also like having to edit all this and cut it together, and it doesn't look as good as a professional studio. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Just deciding to pay $100 an episode was the most liberating thing I've ever done.
Yeah, in what sense? Like, what do you mean?
Like, I know that I'm lazy, and I know that I get unmotivated and a little depressed sometimes. So if I want to actually be consistent with something, I need to make it as easy as possible for myself. So the way that I make it easy as possible for myself is I have a studio that I do my podcast at, and I book it 2 weeks in advance.
Oh, I see.
And the time slot shows up, and I go,
now it's real.
Fuck. I'm like, I have to go over there. So I got to book the guest, and it's honestly like just becomes like it's actually not fuck. I don't know why I made it sound like a negative. I look forward to it now.
No, I know exactly what you mean, because I'm baby steps for me, but that's where I'm at, just like inviting people over. Like I was like, fuck, dude, like the real people are coming over. Like I can't just like half-ass this and like call it in.
Well,
like,
dude, for me, the simple act of setting up a tripod, is screwing in the camera and then charging the battery, makes me want to blow my brains out in a way that I can't explain. I am a professional software developer and a stand-up comedian. So you would think that like working with cameras and setting things up and editing stuff and being on the computer would be something that I enjoy. I hate it so much. It makes me want to die. So like when we would set up that studio and I'd have to put the chairs in and set up the background before every episode, I just got to a point where I said, you know what, dude, like if I ever do this again, I'm going for it. And I'm like, dude, I have negative money in my checking account. I don't care that I pay somebody else $100 an episode to do this, because it's the only way this is ever going to get done.
Dude, that's where I'm at, because like obviously once you take time and money to buy all this shit, I don't want to just be like, oh, I should have just had someone else do it. Like it's like, fuck, how do I find a producer now? Like,
you'll get there.
I can't do it. I can't. This is retarded. I'm like trying to.
Did you really spend $10,000 on this?
Well, okay, so
that's an insanely nice mixer that you have there. That's really.
It's like a $500 mixer. All these mics are like $4 something. These arms are like $150 each. The fucking camera was like $8. The computer was like $2,000, like.
But the computer you're not just using for this. That's your gaming computer, right?
I bought it just for this. I don't game or nothing. Like it's my buddy's old gaming computer, but it's like it's very well put together, and you know what I mean. It's very capable. So I just was like telling them I need to buy a new computer for all the shit, and he's like, I'll just sell you like my old one if you want it. So it's gaming capable, but I bought it just for this. I have this shitty MacBook. I fucking hate technology, Like, so once I went through all this effort, it was like, well, I'm going to try and figure out how I can make it work for now. And as long as I'm doing it, I'm getting somewhere. But I am in the exact same boat. It makes me want to die as well. Like trying to be like, all right, hold on. Can you talk into the mic? Hold on. Okay. Let me delete that new file. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a fucking logistics technology guy. I'm just like,
yeah, anything that throws me off the scent of me trying to be, as soon as I mean this genuinely, if I literally have to plug something in, I'm no longer funny. The simple act of like having to literally go, is that camera lined up right? All of the funny gets sucked out of my system. Exactly. And I'm now just a dumb asshole.
Exactly.
I'm now just like, I'm so agitated that I just can't. It's making me upset just thinking about.
Bro,
it.
that's
like
me.
it's
that's
crazy.
Me every podcast I do. I'm just like I said. I'm like having to. It's like I don't have a multitask brain like that. You know, I have
Even
a
the act of you going,
brain,
I have to go reset the camera every 30 minutes.
Exactly.
How can you be fully
it's
present?
A nightmare.
You can't do it.
It's a nightmare.
You can't do it.
And
So
so
turn into
like,
Joe, the fucking software developer instead of Joe.
no,
the
dude,
comedian.
he's so correct though. It's like any little like detour in the train of thought is just it really is like a big deal. Like this is a nightmare. You see these cords and shit. Me going to plug something in literally is like because it's like I gotta fucking move and hopefully
There's
I don't bump
wires
something.
in the way, and you're like,
so this is retarded what I'm doing, but I just needed to do something. And I was like, I just gotta get it started. And
No, good for you. I'm
the
not trying
shoes
to.
No.
Good for you for getting
I don't.
it started.
I totally don't take it that way. But I'm just glad you get it. Like you, it's
Yeah.
like you just explained. If I could explain to somebody the nightmare of like, how's your podcast going? It's like I'm so excited, but you know what I mean. It is a nightmare because it's like entirely like I don't know how any of this shit works. I had to figure it all out. I still have to figure out the headphone amp. Because only 2 of them can plug in at a time unless I figure out the 4-way switch and all the fucking.
That's why it's nice to have Bogus around at the same time because he can live edit.
Dude,
As like,
that
as
was
was
crazy.
going.
He, with the video,
He's a
he
good
had like
editing person,
a dock with all his cameras hooked up, and he had multiple angles, and he was panning live like while I was
Oh,
going.
was that
like,
in the one of Is that like Gary Fausatic?
No, it was my second one I ever did. He came by with Nick, right?
Cameron.
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 Yeah, so
He
like,
wants to come back, by the way.
dude, he was really cool, man. I just feel like we had 4 people in here. It was like so much going on that we were all like, that's another part of podcasting. It's like the art of like making the energy just neutral so people can kind of.
That was a good pod, though.
In a conversation.
That was the one that got brought up. They're like, yeah, I saw you on a podcast. His name's Patrick.
That was
by the
your
way, the
first
guy
one,
that
bro.
randomly saw that. And I was like, yeah, it's not like a multi-million, but at least one person recognized me. I like stopped and I was like, what?
Dude, that's,
yeah.
I didn't,
Yeah.
I can't believe somebody saw that because I see like 100 views on my podcast and it's the 100 friends I told.
125 is what you were at last night. That's why I was like, I went back and checked.
That's unbelievable. That's so good for starting out, man. I'm serious.
Thanks, man.
Bro, I have to work my fucking ass off to get 100 people to watch the pod. It's so hard.
It's insane.
Like it's the
and I don't blame them either. Like I'm not like mad. Like I know people watch it. It's like I'm thankful that they even like. I only watched half of it. Like I'm like, you watch half of it? Like thank fuck.
But dude, straight up, this is it. A million people watching a stand-up clip of yours that's 40 seconds. I'm just telling you objectively, it does almost nothing for your stand-up. You think like, oh, I'll get a 1 million view clip and we're selling out. It doesn't.
Right.
Nothing happens. You say it exactly the same place.
It's just a blip. There's like clips every day, you know.
If you get 1,000 people to watch every episode of your podcast, those are 1,000 people that will ride with you to the end of the earth.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been up on my TV lately. But
That's an old one. This is from like when your balls just dropped off
South Park old though is like, dude, they've been around for like 30 years. So
fuck
like
yeah.
15 years ago is like, oh, I died off around like 10 years in, you know? Like
Those are ex-Mormon. Those are my people.
they are insane. The fact that they can still do it for this long and not be tainted, you know? Like not be like, oh, they're leaning this way or oh, they're leaning that way. It's like they're still just fucking ripping everything apart, you know?
Having a good time, dude.
They're doing it the right way. And that's why like with the following, like you said, it's like I would rather slowly build people that actually give a fuck than to like try and like lightning in a bottle capture like, you know, a following.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't want to play the lottery like that. It's like way too stressful.
Point.
It's
you
like
are playing the lottery when you do that.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of playing it now, you know. That's the nature of like when you do a non-traditional career that you have to like work to get paid, you know. You can't just like apply for a job. It's like you got to like make people want to pay money to be, whether it's you performing or not, you know what I mean? Just like that sort of atmosphere is like you're creating a buzz and that's what gets you paid. And it's you or it's, you know, the comedy, whatever it is. It's like, that's why there's certain people in the comedy scene who I don't think are super funny, but I respect. You know, and
Name
like
names, dude.
Yeah,
I
name
can't,
drop, bro.
dude,
Name drop.
because I really respect her. You know.
Oh, okay.
But
no.
but no, I just think that like if you
Joe's
can
gonna
create a If you can create a buzz, I respect it. I'm not like I'm a hater for sure if I don't think you're funny or if I think you're being like you're doing the easy route. But if you are trying or you're original or you work really fucking hard, I respect you. You know, and some people just
Bianca,
it's the work ethic.
Say it out loud. It's Bianca.
Who?
Bianca.
She is really funny.
Dude, I've only seen her do stand up once.
Bianca
It
is
was that
funny,
Joe
yeah.
shit.
And
all
she's
she did
super
was
funny.
roast me, and I thought that was the funniest fucking
Oh, she
thing.
roasted you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were friends with her, aren't you? Or Matt's friends?
Matthew's friends. He's in return friends with Bianca.
Well, no, that's why I really respect her because when I first moved here, she's the reason I got an Instagram because I didn't have social media because I fucking hate it. And she was like, somebody wanted to book you for a show and they reached out to me because they saw you on a mic and like they couldn't get a hold of you. She's like, you idiot, you need an you know what I mean? Like it was like I'm so just dense that I was just like, oh, what? Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need
So
some basic
you
way to
need
get-
something where people can contact you, and she would like host mics and like give me an extra minute, you know, and like, dude, I really respect Bianca for sure.
Yeah, Matthew's in love with her. That's what it is. Matthew's actually in love with her. Oh no, there's no thinking. That's a fact.
What makes you say that?
that's as serious as chlamydia. No, we just
Lord.
have you seen?
Chlamydia is not that serious for you, right?
No, you can ask him. He'll tell you, bro.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's upfront about it. Same thing as I am with Nicole, bro. It's like I love Nicole.
You guys are in love with my friends. That's gay.
That's
dude.
funny.
Yay.
You
No, I've
guys
only,
are.
I've only seen her that once. And then obviously, like I've heard the lore, like with Bianca and stuff from Matthew. And
What's
whomever.
the lore?
That I mean, obviously, like she obviously you said you respect her. That she worked her ass off to get where she's at right now.
Yeah, she deserves all the attention she's getting for sure.
I just seen her do crowd work. That was the only time that I'd ever seen her come, and it was directed at me. But that's when I was like sitting next to all the people that she knew in the crowd as well. So it was like easy pickings. But it was after that heckler had come on. Remember, you walked back up on stage after that heckler was there was an older dude that was making jokes about the military he was in. There was a guy in the back that was bullshitting him, and then you come back on. And you're like, if you fucking talk to him, I'll beat your fucking ass.
Oh, that night. I forgot all
what?
about that
Yeah.
night. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Was that after I left that one?
Yeah,
night?
yeah, yeah. That's right after you'd
That was
left.
the first night I met you.
Because I've gotten a lot better at fucking dealing with people talking through my shows. Because to an extent, like, the idea of a heckler, the blame is always on the person hosting the show, right? So, like, if you're running a show and you go, oh, yeah, it's shotgun, you know? So shotgun just means the comic that's on brings on the next comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's fine if you've got a million comics or if the show's, like, really well run. But, like, to me, I always want to be going up in between every comic so that if shit goes off the rails, I can pull it back
You can
in,
mitigate
right?
And that's what you did. You
Yes,
did well.
but I don't even let it get to that fucking point anymore. I've got this new thing that I'm doing at the beginning of every show, and I'm just it's completely stopped hecklers and people talking in general. I go, look, this is it. Just first of all, don't film anybody. This is the second rule. Obviously, don't heckle anyone. But what actually happens is it's not the hecklers that are the problem. What happens is people talk to each other during the show, and there's a lot of people that like to comment on jokes when people make them. So they're like, I actually had that happen to me.
Why do you think we fucking do it?
Yeah.
It's like that's the point. Is you're supposed to go, oh, like yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
Like, you
so-
don't have to say it out loud, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, so I'm basically just like, this is all I say. I go, look, there's going to be people that might want to whisper talk through the show. So this is the thing. If you are sitting next to someone that starts talking to someone sitting next to them, you have my full permission to look right at them and tell them to shut the fuck up. And if they give you
That's
any
awesome.
shit, I will help you fight them.
That's awesome.
I've got your back. I will back
That's
you up in a
awesome.
fight. And it's ever since I started doing that, no one talks at the show.
That's legit.
It worked
That's
fucking
legit.
perfect.
Yeah.
Because they know it's not a legit threat, but they also know, like...
It's like
there-
half, though. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
there are people
Well,
who are like...
it's like publicly shaming them either way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
obviously you're not like
It's- exactly.
Let's
It's not a
scrap.
fight, it's
like
shame.
Now
It's-
now everyone in the room knows that that's a no, and so it's like, are you that fucking vulgar and braggadocious that you're still gonna be that guy? And so it like self mitigates it, you know?
And it's like, especially like Black Rabbit, it's a very like tight knit kind of sex dungeony type esque feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
you don't
for,
have
like,
room for that space of
that
like
to happen,
people
you
heckle,
come up, you're like, I'll drag you out in the street and beat your ass. And I was like, get him, Joe. And then Bianca comes right on right after, bro. And like honestly, is like that's kind of a hard sell in like my opinion. In my eyes, I'd be like, well, that's kind of just like a hard thing to come take stage. So for her just to look directly at me and be like, you dumb white bitch, dude, and just I was like, that's so funny, and I was like, that's like a really good thing to like curve that.
Yeah.
It's like, so Is like, I understand why Matthew loves her. I really do.
100%. She's a tough bitch.
She's a great human.
Yeah, that's what
She's from the Midwest too. So am I. So.
Really? How does
Yeah.
she say bag?
She probably says bag.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know her. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
like she was just really nice to me when I first started, and so I will always respect her.
You got that face though. It's like it'd be kind of rude. It'd be like hard to be rude to you.
You know, she said something like that too, because like I'm so retarded that like I never found myself like I didn't think like that, and she was like saying, she also showed me this girl who was like, I want to slide into his DMs.
Oh.
And so like I was just like, what? Like, you know, so, and she's like, well, you don't look bad.
You'd
you
be
know?
shocked
like,
how many people are mean to you when you start, though, dude. Like,
That's
there's
the
so many
thing.
people that are just like mean to the
because-
open micers, and I'm like, yo, that fucking it's such a shitty situation
Yeah.
people are in.
Yeah.
I would never be able to start here and figure it out. There's not a fucking chance.
Oh, it's a jading experience.
There's too many people.
It's a jading experience because especially when you're new, because you're like, you don't really know what you're doing yet. And so you're like, I don't expect people to give me the benefit of the doubt, but if they just stifle it, then it's like, how does a new person get to grow? Like, that's the thing, is everybody around the country wanted to be a famous comedian, so they moved here. And it's like, well, now it's just oversaturated. People don't want to give attention anymore. Like, they're just like, we've heard it. Like, everywhere has a comedy mic, you know, like, shut up. And it's like, well, that's because there's a bunch of people who aren't actually passionate about it. Just like, oh, I could do that. Like, you know.
Chasing. I had watched a video. I think it was Nick Swanson, and he was like, obviously like an old
Love
school
Nick
kind
Swanson.
of stand-up guy. But before Oz became a thing, I believe this is when it was. He was talking about when he had a solid 15 minutes and he was killing it. I think he was in New York, but he was talking about moving to LA because at that point that was like a main comedy hub, the Comedy Store. And somebody gave him some advice and he said, unless you have a full solid hour, don't go to LA yet. He's like, you know, build up your hour, build up your rapport, build up your sets. Then that's the time to go to LA. Yeah. And so on and so forth. But do you guys feel like that's what Austin
You're
is
100% correct.
I made the mistake of coming too early. I was like,
fucked up.
Come to Austin.
Tell you why you're fucking correct, dude. Like, I started in Boston, and even in Boston was too competitive of a place for me to start. There were too many comics. And
they were all really good, probably.
Because at the time, like, Burr and Rogan and Louis were the biggest comics going, and they'd all started in Boston.
Yeah.
So everybody had this idea that this is this great place to start. And, dude, so people are like, you're going to Mike's, and it's the same experience that, like, you're having, where I'm showing up to the open mic, and I'm trying to sign up, and I just remember, like, the second the list would be dropped, it would be like a...
And so you try to get shoved too. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
You try to get there an hour early, and even if you got there an hour early, there was no respect for the, hey, Joe got here first.
Exactly.
And I also didn't have any respect for them if I just showed up. So I would try to nudge my way in. And so the way it worked is the first 20 people would do 5, and then it was 4, 3, and then 2 at the end. So if you didn't get on there early enough, you were going to wait almost 3 hours and then do 2 minutes, which would happen all the time. And then you'd have to ride the green line all the way back. Mm-hmm. And so I'm doing this, and like, that's my experience at the beginning. Like, and then I went to Connecticut. In Connecticut, the old head comics that were running out of Connecticut, guys like, were just pieces of shit. They were impossible to deal with. They're bad people, and they would bully you. And it was tough. It was a tough thing to fucking have to deal with. But at the same time, you're in there and you're like, bleep his fucking name out, by the way, if you don't mind.
Oh, I will. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, just bleep that out. Because as much as he was a bad guy, I don't want him to just get
come at you.
I don't mind him coming at me. I just don't, maybe he's trying to be better, and I don't need him getting trashed on the internet. But me being in Connecticut, the experience was this. It was like, there I could drive to New Haven, Connecticut, which was an hour away. I could drive to Middletown, which was 30. I could drive up to Northampton, which was 25. I could do open mics in like all these different, in Manchester. And so I was finally able to get up 6 times a week with a little bit longer sets. And then when I moved to fucking San Jose, dude, San Jose Improv is a 450 seat comedy club. It hosts the biggest people that are not playing theaters in the country. So at that time, like, it was like Doug Stanhope, Nicole Byer, Trevor Wallace, people like this. I fucking just convinced Stanhope to let me open for him, and then I was one of like 3 competent comics in the San Jose area, and then I'm the paid regular there. I'm the guy opening for all those fucking people.
That's fire.
I'm 3 years in. I'm doing all those weekends, and then like I'm driving over the hill. I'm going to Santa Cruz to do mics. I'm literally driving 4 hours to Reno, but I'm like, if you give me time, I will take it. Because there was the thing that I read like really early on. I read this thing. Tim Ferriss was interviewing Derek Sivers, and he's like, Derek, like, what advice do you have for like young musicians? And he goes, well, when I was like really young, I was living in New York and I was struggling to pay rent. And somebody offered me $75 to play like a farm show in Burlington, Vermont, which is 6 hours away from New York, and the bus fare was $50. And he's like, so $25 to go to Burlington. And he goes, I said, yeah. I said, fuck it. I'm gonna get on the bus. I'm gonna go up there. And that butterfly affected into a whole bunch of other things. So you have no idea what's going to butterfly effect out. You have no idea that, like, if you go out to these towns, what's going to happen. So, like, San Jose, I wasn't spending my time in San Francisco. I was actually avoiding San Francisco, which is the main comedy hub for the Bay, like a fucking plague. Everybody else is trying to get past the punchline while I'm driving over to Santa Cruz to get 3 sets in a night. I'm driving to Sacramento to do 2.
You're actually working out.
I'm fucking getting the spots while everybody's going after the super competitive shit.
And not actually really performing much.
Not performing much at all. Like, don't even get me started on the punchline system there. That's a whole bunch of other fucking horse shit. But if I were like to actually give you advice for starting out in the game, which you didn't ask for, but I'll give it to you anyway.
I'm asking for all the advice you give, bro.
It would be this.
Way more than I do.
Everyone's going to try to get on Kill Tony. Everyone's going to try to get up at the mothership. Everyone wants to be past the creek. Everyone wants to be past the Cap City. Small market. Just drive to you can do 2 mics a night in San Marcos. You see that's an opportunity. That's the opportunity you got to take. Like, you want to fucking, you should try to like make inroads in Houston, make inroads in Dallas. Dallas has 9 comedy clubs.
I performed in Dallas a couple times, and it was like, whoa.
9 comedy clubs, 40 comics, dude. Like, you could, if you become a guy up there, you're going to get the fucking work. The guys down here, like Casey Rocket, Cam Patterson, Asan, Dylan Carlino, they don't need to be driving to Dallas anymore. So, like, you could take those opportunities. So you have to look at it as like, all right, where can I actually like get some leverage? Like, what's the arbitrage opportunity? It's places outside of the city.
Yeah, you still do Dallas though
all the time.
Yeah,
I'm a dog. I'm still.
Yeah, you are a dog.
I'm like,
yeah, you are a dog.
I'll drive fucking 3.5 hours to do one spot. I don't care. I'll just do it. Like,
yeah,
but
that's a good mentality though.
Yeah, because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
he lives it too, bro.
Yeah.
Every time I've talked to Joe, he has a show to do that.
That's how I was. Like, I feel
Take
like
it up as much as you can. Fuck
that's good advice though, because that's how I was when I first moved here. It was like every mic, everywhere, all the time, and that's how I got better. Like that was what taught me to be able to be like actually confident on stage and competent as well.
Yeah.
But I guess that is a like probably the right way to do it.
Because all those guys, don't know what to do, right? So they're like, when you don't know what to do and you have no information, you go, I'm gonna go to the 11 p.m. Creek mic and I'll be 45th, right? Like, that's my plan for the night. I'll go wait for the list at the Creek.
It's very sad
because you don't know what to do, and you can't blame them because they don't know what to do, and then somebody shows up and bumps them, right? Like, the Sunday Creek mic is the best open mic in the world, by the way. Is
that the banana phone mic?
It's the one before it.
Oh, okay. I love the banana phone mic. I haven't been to
2
one
open mics, back-to-back open mics that pretty much sell out at a comedy club on a Sunday. That's fucking crazy. But, dude, like, so think about, like, if you had no information, right? Like, if you'd never been part of the game, if you'd never done stand-up in your life, and you didn't know anyone, where would you go? And what would you do, right?
Everywhere.
Comedy Club, Kill Tony, bro.
But, exactly. So you would go to Comedy Club and you go to Kill Tony. Now, I'm not telling you not to do Kill Tony because you've clearly gotten on. It's gone well for you. I'm just saying, early stages of my career, I would look at and go, what are the things that I know about in stand-up that the people who have no information don't, right? That's where you fucking go.
That's good advice.
And go there and just go. Where can I get on stage with the most minutes of me on stage with the least amount of time of me having to sit around.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm so glad you talked to me about this, because that's been the biggest part of the nightmare. Is like that's why I stopped doing open mics like when I did, because it was just like you grind, sit there for 6 hours, and everybody's gone by the time you perform, and that was what you did that whole night.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get anything out of this, but I spent like 8 hours on it. You know, and so it was just like it was draining.
Hours. That was my Boston experience. 3.5 hours plus commute time to have done 2.5 minutes at the end of the night.
With,
and you go,
with not a real audience either.
Dude, and then you go, I want to die.
Yeah.
You go, I like.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's soul sucking. It's soul sucking. And honestly, that's where I was. That's why I took like time back, and I'm like, all right, I'll just get better, write better, and then I'll attack and try and take shots. But it makes me feel like I should, if at least do both, you know, at the very least. Like, I'm probably being very lazy by not just attacking it, you know.
Yeah.
Bless you, sir.
Reps,
God.
baby. You're right there.
I'm dying.
We get the dabby wabby.
That's what's getting me.
Where'd the wine go?
Thank you, Joe.
Where the hell did I put that? Oh, it's right
I got a big cock.
Oh, man.
The final out.
How long you got in you, bro?
What do you mean, for this?
Yeah, I don't want to take.
How long do you guys want to go? Let's do like another 20 minutes or something? 10 minutes?
I'm totally down. I just don't.
What time
I
is
know
it?
you're busy.
What
so
time is it?
It's 6:46.
Do like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Call it at 7. Let's do it.
Let's
I'll
do it.
Mini pour for me. Just that much
Yeah,
right
you
there.
gotta try this, man.
So this is the good shit?
Well, they're both really good shit, but this is the other one you haven't tried. So it's like a little bit different because it's more of a rich flavor rather than light bodied. It's just got like a little bit of a like thickness to it almost, you know.
Oh.
Like,
I'm starting to get why people get into wine, man.
yeah, we were
You
when
know?
you went to the bathroom, we were talking about it because I was saying like poor people think, oh, rich people are dumb. They spend $300 on a bottle of wine. It's like, I wouldn't spend that, but it is really good.
You got the money. What the fuck else are you gonna spend?
Exactly.
That's what
Like,
happens. People get so much money that they go like, okay, what do I waste this money on?
Yeah.
I have money that I don't need.
Exactly. And
What
people
do we
think,
do with it?
They think rich people are dumb. It's like, no, they're not dumb. They just have the money to enjoy the finer things. Like the wine is really good. It's just not very accessible. That's the part that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I fucking love wine, man.
It's
shit's
so good. I
bomb.
love to drink wine.
I heard Cat Williams talk about it where he was like trying to prove to Joe Rogan the existence of God, and he's like, when the fruit rots, what happens? It becomes alcohol. I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, there might be a God. Like even the fruit can't rot.
Here's a wild fact about that, right? Just wild decomposition fact. I got really into
Cheers, boys.
mushrooms and fungus in general, and so that's basically what happens. Is prior, this is a crazy fact, right? The fungus that breaks things down, so the same thing that would like decompose things, that like decompose sugars and turn them into alcohol. Things that like fungus that just eat things as you die, things that we need to break things down, those evolved after like plant life evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was like
Just a fucking pile of fucking
Pile
that
of
shit
stuff.
that get decomposed, right?
So this stuff would just decompose and pile up for like kilometers, just like fucking
crazy.
just piles and piles of stuff. And so the earth basically just like turned into this just giant bog because all this stuff was just dying and piling on top of each other.
Oh.
And then what happened was it gets compressed. And then so like the compressed material is limestone.
It's like nutrient dense. It's like it's full of
It's the limestone that we live on now.
for real.
Yeah. Which is
What?
and then also like the oil and stuff. So like depending on like how it broke
that
down.
makes sense why it's
Yep.
so fucking
It's
dense
insane.
and hard
Yeah,
and
that,
shit.
coal
You know,
as well,
like
isn't it?
and
Yeah.
the layer, and that's where like the oil layers, like all those.
Call it
That's
fossil
crazy
fuels, bio,
because
yeah.
that's they say like there's very few species that are aliens probably, and they say like octopus and like mushrooms and like you know what I mean. Like it's very few things, and it's always the weird ones. The mycelium,
Mycelium, or
like the
communicate through
blanket
tree,
it
yeah.
forms. It's it covers the ground, and that's why I was raised not to waste. Like if my plate's full, it's like eat the fucking all the plate, you know. But whenever I see big waste at like a restaurant or something, it used to make me sad. It used to be like, oh, you know, so much waste. But if you think about it, in the grand ecosystem of the globe, it's actually not going to waste. Like something's going to break that down and utilize it. And even if it's a million years from now, you know, like it's all a cycle.
It's going to be destroyed, dude. I mean, what fungus can do is fucking crazy. So like the miles of like mycelium under the ground is, if you string them together, is like longer than the length of our galaxy.
Yeah.
Which is fucking mind blowing. And then the other thing is like the fungus, it's the DNA of fungus is closer to a human being than it is to a plant.
Yeah,
which is fucking
they're
just like
when
bananas.
vegetarians eat mushrooms, like, oh, I don't eat flesh or anything, you know. It's like, dude, I like mushrooms are like, I look at a bag of mushrooms, like dried mushrooms, and they're just like, you know, there's a presence in that fucking bag. Like,
there is.
It's like, you know, and so like, it's just funny that it's like vegetarians don't think of it like that, but it's like, dude, they're like capable, species. So. You can link up little nodes to mushrooms, and it will translate into sine waves that play music that is like an orchestra. And it's like crazy. That's how they communicate to each other. And it's like
trees use mycelium as well to talk to each other as well.
Like through the mycelium?
Yeah,
so it's basically like a neural network for them to like speak between. So there's these like this is another crazy one, right? So like plants and fungus have like figured out how to link up and create like these I think they're called like lichens or something. And so that was actually like the initial thing. The entire reason that we can exist on the earth is because when the plants were coming out of the ocean, there was like nothing for them to eat. So the combination of these things, the mushroom would break down the rock and turn it into edible thing and then feed it to the plant, which is like,
that's fucking
crazy. So there's been this like relationship between the plants and the fungus since like the beginning of time. And so
they were smart enough to like know like, oh, well, we can make this work.
So like, get this, the highway of like information between the fungus and the trees, one tree will get sick and like it'll be like bros.
They'll send nutrients.
Hey, bro. Yeah. So just so you guys know, I'm a little bit under the weather, and the other bros will be like, okay, we got to stay away from Phil, but also like send him extra stuff. And so there's these pairings too, where like I forget what it is, but like mushrooms can't photosynthesize. So they'll be like, we need this from you and you need this from us. So it can get things out of the ground. That's actually like how they get the shit out of the, it's fucking crazy.
We'll make it worth your while if you make it worth ours. Scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
It's insane. I learned all of this from a book called, it's something by Merlin Sheldrake. But
Merlin Sheldrake. I know him. I actually have one of his books right here.
Oh, no way.
It's him, Terrence McKenna, and
one of my favorite things this last winter.
Another guy, it's like all their commentary.
Wow, dude, this is holy shit.
One of the first books, like when I was 18, that I was like, whoa.
No, this is where's Merlin Sheldrake?
It's all three of them. So, if you look, it's
on the front.
Oh, dude, this is a different guy. This is a different Sheldrake.
Wait,
shit, man.
Never mind.
Ooh, we got. You know what was crazy?
You can borrow that if you want to.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I might have to get into this. This is.
It's three really crazy, like psychonaut smart dudes talking to each other about the universe. It's fucking cool, dude.
You guys know how to read? Son of a bitch.
God damn.
Dude, one of my favorite things to do this last winter, I'd drink, like, get off work, drink half a bottle of vodka, and I was growing mushrooms in my house, and I'd just go talk to them, bro. I'd just go tell them nice things. That was like one of my favorite things to do. Right.
You're right there, bro.
Well, honestly, no, because like you've seen the studies with plants where they play like aggressive heavy metal and then like beautiful music, and they grow better with the beautiful. It's like, I'm too stupid to put it into words, but people don't think, they think humans are just the ones, like we're the conscious ones, and everything else is just like, oh, they're not smart enough. And it's like, dolphins have their whole universe that we don't even know about, and the way they talk to each other, the way plants, mushrooms, they all have like language. They have language. We just think, oh, well, let me read it. It's like, well, it's not like that. It's a different kind of language, you know?
Yeah.
It's impulse. It's like vibration. It's energy. It's, you know, yeah. And so it's like
Perception.
we're
is
very
really-
naive to think like, oh,
yeah.
well, we're at the top. Like, it's like, no, we're just playing a different game. Like,
Yeah.
you think a mushroom gives a fuck about rent? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different variables. They all still have capabilities, and mushrooms have crazy capabilities. Like, I feel like vegans should stop eating mushrooms. Honestly.
That's a fair point.
Honestly, if they're gonna really be for the cause.
Gotta say though, I've like tried every supplement under the sun and just like seen how it would affect me, and I'm pretty much down to only taking 2. And all I take is magnesium before I go to bed, and then I take lion's mane. And for me,
For your brain health?
lion's mane,
Yep.
dude. I like shit that I don't like the ones where over a long period of time we're gonna have a positive effect. Lion's mane, I take that shit and I'm immediately like lit up. I'm ready
Really?
to fucking go, dude.
Really?
It's the best,
Really?
and it's cheap as fuck. It's like
Yeah.
150 doses for $20.
Damn.
It's crazy. So they go. A lot of people are like, yeah, man, I like to like, you know, replace my coffee with like a little like mushroom cocktail. I go, dude, I like to mix them together. Let's go. You get a little 150 milligrams of caffeine and some lion's mane. You're fucking ready
It's
to
like
rip.
NCT. It's
You're
like
ready to
fucking-
beat up people at the open mic. Let's go.
That's the limitless
Go.
pill, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The magnesium's no joke either. I got me some of that as well.
It's amazing. Cure my insomnia.
Oh, dude, I had
Really?
so bad with that
I'm gonna
as
look
well.
into that
Crazy.
because I have insomnia too, and I took like L-theanine or some shit. I
Yeah.
don't know what it was, but
So that's the
that shit helped. But
So I lied a little bit earlier when I said I was only taking 2 because I did magnesium and then at night and then the lion's mane in the morning. I do magnesium, a full gram of magnesium glycinate mixed with apigenin and L-theanine.
apigenin, I do. It was
Yeah.
theanine and apigenin.
So
Was
you
what I was
mix
taking.
them all together. You do all 3 at the same time,
What was the third one?
and then you have
Magnesium?
to beat off furiously.
Yep. Yep.
You have to.
And that's
But,
what it's
but
like.
you
to drive
can't
a
stroke
Ford
too fast.
F-150.
Yeah, because you don't you don't want to get your heart rate up too fast.
yeah, you still got to stay in that
You fall asleep
Zen
mid-stroke, bro.
space, you know.
Dude, if I seriously
Bust a
challenge
ghost nut, you
anyone
know?
to do this, okay? You take those 3, all right? And then you make yourself read for a half hour and then you jerk off. If you can, brother, if you can stay awake after that, God bless. You're my fucking hero,
Want him in the
dude.
trenches with me, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I
you
mean?
need to tell Matt
That's
right
good battle,
for that.
buddy.
You're the fucking dog, dude. I know it's crazy that there's been, like, people have. That's one thing that I fucking am. The people that I think I have the most like sympathy for, the people I feel the worst for, people with insomnia, without a doubt. Because somebody told me, they're like, all right, I'm going to shoot you in the head unless you cut your arm off, right? You would cut your arm off.
No, I just get shot.
Okay. Well, what if I
I probably would get shot too, honestly. I've seen one 27 hours or whatever.
all right, so what's another one?
Sorry, Joe. I would cut my arm off. What were you
I would
saying?
cut my arm off for sure.
So, but if somebody went up to you and went, all right, I'm going to shoot you in the head unless you can fall asleep, you know, you can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So, like, it's the one thing where you can't, like, it's something that you can't overcome with the power of will. And the more effort you put towards it, the worse it gets.
Yeah, people say, like, start at your toes. Shut
Yeah.
down your toe. What? You know, like,
Oh, bro.
dude, that's the hardest thing ever is to just be like, I'm tired now, but I can't go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do have to fall into this, like, trance-like fucking moment and just conk out. You ever been so tired where you're like, you can't even keep your eyes open, and then something happens where you're jarred, and it's like, oh, fuck, now I'm awake. Like, I'm still so tired, but I can't go back to sleep. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like you said, you can't turn it on or off, you know? It's like a dance. You're like dancing with the
dude.
sleep. You have
The
to
train.
figure it out. Yeah.
The train.
You guys ever tried
Yeah,
black
you have to
tar
catch the
heroin?
bus. You have to. If you miss the bus, you're like, "Fuck, I missed the bus." Like, I gotta wait for the next.
I can pretty much sleep. I don't want to curse. I actually don't even like talking about it because I'm in a place where I can fall asleep right now. And if I think too much about it, I'm worried that I'm going to fall out of it.
Yep.
That's one of my worst fears. I'm like, is something horrible going to happen to the people that I care about? And then like 2 and 3 is like, am I going to get horrifically depressed again? And am I going to develop insomnia again? Because that's like, Oh my god, if that happened, like it would ruin my.
Yeah.
I'm on a fucking
All
tear
your
right.
progress, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are on a fucking tear.
I feel great. Like life's going good. Like if I just randomly developed insomnia right now, I can't even think about it. Like I've got a friend that's sleeping like 4 hours a night right now,
Nightmare.
and I'm like, man, because in high school I had it. Like we had class at 8 a.m. every day, and so you'd have to wake up at 7. I couldn't sleep, so I was going to bed at like 3.
Yeah.
And just the feeling of like trying to exist on 4 hours of sleep. I'm a pussy, dude. If I don't get 8, I'm fucked. I can't exist on less than 8. I need 8.
Oh,
I
see,
have to have.
I dream of a day where I can actually get adequate sleep.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, well, because I work in like service industry. So, you know what I mean? It's like either I'm working early or I'm getting off late. And then when those all coincide in 5-day work week, it's like on top of trying to live your life, you know? Oh, well, I don't want to not do anything this week, so I will go out even though I work in the morning, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I just make do.
Where do you work at?
Right now it's up in like Windsor. It's a place called it's just easy, man. It's just so easy. Like service industry is fucked because when you think about it, your entire existence is paid for by other people, but at least you're giving them a service. You know? Like at least like it's not it's kind of like a stripper, you know? Like it really is. It's like I shake my ass for them, and so they have a good time, so they're like, here's some money, pay your rent, you know? It's really what service industry is.
I have the best fucking stripper story while I was at WTF. This probably happened like 2 weeks ago, bro.
The strippers love WTF.
Dude, I have, dude, like the red row, red row strippers come in.
If you see a smoke show at
Yeah,
WTF, you'll go talk to her, and then you immediately like, fuck.
Dude, there's this blonde bitch from Florida, all right?
She just wants my money.
She come in at like 5:45, fucked up. She was so, like, she was in a sundress, but it was too short, so she was bending over. I saw her butthole, her vagina. Then right before she left, she got this close to my face, like, told me about why she believes in Jesus Christ, and walked right out the fucking door. I was like, I am in love, dude.
Just hurricane
Best day of
came
my life. Nothing ruined that day.
Oh man,
so funny.
Yeah, they have they're like little enchantresses, you know. They have they cast spells, you know.
Oh yeah, little blonde from Florida. Yeah, get out of town, bro.
The first time I ever went to a strip club, I was like 18, and my brother was going through a breakup, and he's married to that girl now, so it worked out. But it was like, take your brother to a strip club, and I was like that dude at the end, and I'm like, why are you guys doing this to yourself? Like you're such a dumb idiot kid. Like,
why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, I was like, just like, well, I don't understand. Like, you don't have to do this. It's like, dude, I make really good money doing this. Why would I not? They're hustlers. Like you as society looks like at strippers like, oh, that's a demeaning, you know, like job. It's like they work hard. They work really hard.
Strippers work hard.
Respect the strippers, bro. Yeah.
They're dealing with like men, and men are the worst, you know.
Oh,
we're the best, actually.
Especially dog men, dude.
Well, I say the worst, but it's code for best. But you have to say it like that,
boys.
You know? Like the worst just means we were the most capable, fun.
Shout out
strong,
the boys.
You know? And also shout like those trees and the mushrooms, like those boys. If your boy is sick, send them. Stay away, but send some messages.
Send some messages. Yeah.
Send some messages.
Reach out through the mycelium network of Instagram. You
What
know?
time we got, baby boy?
Dude, we got about a little after 7. I feel like let's call
7?
this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I got work at 8. I gotta
bro.
Let's go. Let's do it. Where are you working?
Wiggle room for tonight.
Shit. We get a room.
Wiggle room, dude. West 6. Come on down, Cutthroat. Hit fucking karaoke.
If you don't leave fast enough, you won't have much wiggle room for your
right
time.
Wait, so they play Nether Hour plays WTF, and then they go over for Cutthroat?
In cahoots, bro. So Trip, the old GM of WTF, went over as he's not a GM, but he gives advice on what should be done and so on and so forth. He consultant. So he's a consultant on E6 now in cahoots. So he robbed Nether Hour for Thursdays, and then DJ Douglas Ray, shout out Doug, my boy, for Sundays as well. So Nether Hour now, instead of doing Thursdays at WTF and Sundays, they're just doing Sundays now, which is just Sunday service. And then, one of the band members from Nether Hour, he does Cutthroat karaoke around. So one of the places is WTF now. It used to be Latchkey. There was some beef that went on with that, though. And then, Sunday nights is fucking old wiggle room.
We all heard, baby.
Yeah. that fucking dude come in last Sunday, too, though.
What
dude? One of the guys from Latchkey. So they're sitting there trying to do Cutthroat. The guy come in, And both the people that run the Cutthroat, they stood up and they were like, yeah, just tell everybody we had technical difficulties. Out.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
There's just some old beef. So they used to do Cutthroat karaoke at Latchkey, and then they stopped, and then Latchkey pretty much copied exactly what Cutthroat karaoke is and started doing it for their own shit. And that rubbed some people the wrong way. And so one of the guys that was a part of that come in as a, just get a drink with just a bunch of the bar patrons or bar workers. And he didn't like him, so they just fucking left.
Who was it? Which guy?
I don't know. I didn't know
What
his
did he
name.
look like?
Oh, he was a white dude.
With what kind of hair?
I don't know. I'm sure
All right.
if I honestly...
I gotta go. All right.
I don't know.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, dude.
That's so funny.
Oh, sorry, bro.